I see what you said about the restart. I'm going to make you hear the song one more time. I see it. Y'all are a bunch of bullies, even on a Friday morning. You're bullies. I've been bullied all night. And I get bullied all night by drunk TikTokers and then wake up to do my show and I get bullied in the morning. So, did I hear about Bubba? I did hear about Bubba. That's a rumor. Thank you. Thank you, Clarice, for not bullying me. I appreciate that. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. The friendliest Friday in all the land. Change my headphones. It's there we go. That's better. I feel like I'm like in a tunnel sometimes when I have these headphones on. How's everybody doing? Has everybody been on Twitter this morning? I don't often recommend that people go to Twitter, but Twitter's a good place this morning. Usually it's the bad place. It's the good place this morning. Big beautiful Bill, eh? I can't even. I got banned off True Social. I need to make another account. I just keep forgetting to do it. Oh, TikTok dude responded. He went absolutely insane. He started sending me a bunch of messages in the middle of the night. Maybe I can pull him up. And then he blocked me.
So I've been noticing
let me see. I'll show him. He told me not to show him. He threatened me, but turns out I'm not very afraid of that. And then he also shared them on his own anyways. There it is. Come on, pull up. Oh, good Lord. How do I hide this? Boy. All right, I'll show you. It went pretty good. Let me just figure out how I can hide sensitive information.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies.
That's going to play a clip of Andrew.
So I've been noticing
Shit, how do I pull this up? Give me 1 second. I got to figure out how to... There's got to be a way to show this. Hi, Jen. What?
More you gotta figure out.
What's that?
You didn't say Jen. You didn't say Jen. How do I figure this out? Is that not what you just said?
I might have. Well, I want to show the messages, but then it shows like all the other messages on the side, and I don't think other people's messages need to be seen.
Here, how many were there?
How many messages were there?
Yeah.
There was a lot. He said a lot of messages.
So I've been noticing
Do you want to get them?
I can screenshot them.
Okay.
I'll drop them in our chat.
I actually woke up. I was putting some stuff together in my apartment, and I just drank way too much water last night. So I woke up around like 2 to pee, and I looked at my phone, and I just had like 40 notifications. I was like, uh-oh. He got. Here's what happened. He obviously didn't pay attention. He thought that nobody knew that what was being passed by the Senate was a continuing resolution. I think that was ultimately what he was accusing us of, and that when I made the video, I didn't know it was a continuing resolution. But we knew that. We always knew that. But on Sunday, when they announced that they were going to negotiate it, it was part of the announcement that it was a continuing appropriations, which is what you do for a continuing resolution. So I just made a video and I showed him that I knew that, and then instead of responding to that, he just got very mad and threatened me and said some crazy things.
Big mad.
Oh, you haven't seen him yet?
No, I hadn't seen these yet. Yeah, no, this is unhinged.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. He did not have a good night last night. And he posted it. He posted it like he made videos about me while he's clearly drunk, which like I'm a little bit. It's a little sad, but he shared the screenshots of his own messages, but then he was too drunk to read them correctly. So like he kept getting. At one point, I think I said something like, "I've never talked to you." And in his video, he's like, "What? You never talk about me? What does this say? This says I've never talked about you." But he just like read it wrong and then went on a rant. So it was weird. We're talking about a guy named, what's his name? Mike. Mike with a Y. Yeah.
No, I just.
Yeah. I told you they're crazy. They're crazy.
All right, hold on. I'm posting on our chat so you can. Right. This is unhinged.
Yeah, it got wild last night. And then he blocked me right after.
Yeah.
So.
Here.
I just think he just needs to like take a little walk. All right, you're gonna put him in. All right, so here's where it starts. This was him saying. So this was after he went on a little bit of a rant the day before, and he said, "I tagged you in a bunch of videos. Learn something before you fucking talk to me again." Which I haven't ever talked to him to this day. I still haven't talked to him. And that's when I said, I've never talked to you, didn't know who you were. As soon as I posted about you, a bunch of women told me that you're a problem. That checks out. And then I just said, you're lazy. You clearly don't watch my show. Stay mad. I cover this in far more depth than you do, and I don't have to shit on other creators to feel smart. And that was, again, just like his whole contention was that we should be celebrating that the Democrats caved on SNAP benefits. And the reason we weren't celebrating that is because we didn't understand it, that we didn't even know that it was a continuing resolution. And I've been tagged in his videos like a million times. They're always tagging me. And so this one, I finally was just like, yeah, I just think you're wrong. So I responded, which if you follow my TikTok, I rarely do this. I clearly chose the wrong person to respond to. Let's go to the next one. So it seems fine. And then this is yesterday at 10:30 in the evening. You quite literally stitched me and made the caption more useless than a piece of wet toilet paper. I did say that. I said moderates are more useless than a piece of wet toilet paper. That was the name of my video. What the fuck do you mean?
Well, in fairness, you had a typo in that, so I fixed it. I knew what you meant, but I did fix it for you.
Oh, thank you. What the fuck do you mean you've never talked about me? Again, if you go back, I said I've never talked to him. Then he's quoting me, you're lazy, you don't watch my show. Why the fuck would I? From where I'm standing, you have the intellectual curiosity and capacity of a fucking third grader. This is fine. I'm still not responding. He's still mad 9 minutes later at 10:43. I've seen your content. You've never had an original thought in your fucking life. Leave me out of your attempt for relevance, which I thought was interesting because the message before was like, I've never why would I watch your content? Like I don't watch your content. And then here he's like, I've seen it. You've never had an original. So it was a little bit contradictory there, I thought. And then no response from me, I think, is what got him really upset here. Get fucked, stay fucked, you miserable fucking cunt. I don't know you. I don't want to know you. I want nothing to do with you. From everything I've seen, you're not intelligent enough to even talk to. Go the fuck away. You stitched me talking shit, and you have the fucking balls to spin it like I even know who you are. About an hour later, 11:36, I would say it was nice knowing you, but I don't know you, and I didn't know you existed 48 hours ago. And frankly, I'd prefer to forget you exist. Goodbye, he says. And I said, later, bitch. And that was all I said. That was the only thing I said. It's just later, bitch. And then he did not like that. So then I went back to sleep and I woke up to, bitch, read a book, you fucking miserable nobody. Let me know when you can pass an 8th grade civics class. Keep my name out of your mouth, you fucking nobody. Get fucked, you fucking cunt. I didn't even know you existed 48 hours ago. If you want a thing, I'll fucking burn you to the ground in the next 48. Don't be a hero. And a podcast about it. It turns out I am a hero. Look at me. I can be a hero, Mikey. And was that it? Yeah, I think that was it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I forgot. Go the fuck away. We clear on that. I hope you die in a flurry of herpes sores, you absolute PFA of shit. So then he made a video and he showed all of the people these messages. He showed them to him. He was like bragging about the fact that he just went crazy on me for a day, all because I had the audacity to say I thought he was mistaken about something. So anyways, that's how my day went this morning, which was pretty fun.
RGZ mom made a valid point.
What's that?
He's giving like Clue Man vibes and Bobby vibes. They got to be friends? You think?
Yeah, it's Bobby vibes. I think I said it yesterday, but like there's always somebody like this, and then they have like a handful of pick-me's that follow them. Like if you go to his videos, he has just like the same 4 people. Like, you got him. You sure showed him. Don't search his name, by the way. You don't want to do that because you might find a video of him talking about 13-year-olds labias.
We don't need to give him any attention. It's not anybody on the left. It's just
no, he's on the left.
Oh, he claims to be. I've seen him. Like I hadn't seen him. Like every once in a blue moon, I think I'd seen him somewhere. But he does. He stays up late, very late, and doesn't appear to be sober often. He's
oh, go ahead.
Maybe he's the OM of the left. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't want to be reactionary, but I don't think this relationship between me and him is going very well. I don't know if it's going to go well. I'm not sure. I'm going to keep.
It might be. I mean, good thing he blocked you. He'll probably unblock you like a weird ex-girlfriend, and then go back and forth for a while. That's what it feels like. So.
Yeah. This is that's not. I can't even show you the other stuff. Like I'm pretty sure Tex, hi Tex, whatever fake account you're watching on, also went crazy on me on Twitter last night. Just went through every reply I ever had and went absolutely bananas. So it's been a weird day. There's some people that are very upset with me. So, anyways, that's how the morning started. Good morning to everybody. It's great to see you. Great to be here. I can't even complain because, like, it could be worse. I could be Donald Trump this morning. I could be MAGA. I could be somebody who woke up this morning and is like, I have to defend my position today. Uh-oh. And we'll get into that. I do want to let you know it's Friendly Friday. The last usually like hour of the show, we take friendly calls. I do have a hard cutoff today at 1, so I don't know if we'll get the full hour in for friendly calls, but I'll try. I know some people want to talk about the Epstein stuff. We'll try and get through that today. Reminder, we are crowdfunded. You can see the gift go up there in the top corner and the ways that you can donate there and also on TikTok. And welcome to our TikTok friends. I can see your chat today. I see all of you. I see Twitch, I see YouTube, and I see TikTok. It's going to be a good day. All right, let's jump right into it. Sean Duffy. I don't know what to do with like this version of republicanism. I feel like we just need to let him talk. I just don't think this is a popular idea. Sean Duffy went on the Sean Ryan podcast where they have really cool lighting, and he said this.
And I think the message today, Sean, is so interesting that we're telling young girls, get a job, advance your career. Your career is the most important thing that you have in your life. And I think it's a false promise, man. I think
First of all, nobody's
think...
saying that. Not one person is saying a career is the most important thing you can have in your life. What they say is like, yeah, go ahead and pursue a career that you like. And if you want to have kids, you can have kids. But you don't have to not have a career and choose to have kids. Instead, you should just do things that make you happy. Welcome, everybody from Fax Raid. Good to have you here.
It doesn't give you happiness. It'll give you money, right? It'll give you colleagues. It might give you personal gratification. But who do you have a cup of coffee with on a Saturday morning? Who do you get to watch a sunset with? You know,
perhaps a girlfriend, perhaps a spouse, perhaps a friend. I don't know if he knows this, but women can have careers and relationships. Somebody's got to tell these Republicans that you can do both. Somehow, I guess that's what they think of women. Like women are incapable of doing both, but men can have both a relationship and a career.
Who do you get to share a day on the lake with? Or a rainy day where you sit in your house? Who do you share that with? You don't share it with your colleagues. You know, it might be fun when you're...
You could. You could share it with your colleagues.
34 years old, and like you don't have to deal with 4 kids crying at home and changing diapers and taking someone to soccer practice.
Doesn't he have 13 kids or some shit like that? I have a cup of coffee with your girlfriend. Doesn't he have 13 kids? How many kids does Sean Duffy have? His poor wife. She's running a fucking daycare. Here we go. 9. Evita Pilar. I don't want to say their names, actually. It's all right, but there's a lot of Pilars in the middle. Is his wife? Is that her last name? 9 kids. That's a lot. She's got a tough job. I do agree. If you have 9 kids, like, good luck having a career. That's going to be tough.
That might seem fun, but in the end, those colleagues, that corporation, they're not going to be with you at the end. They're not going to go on vacation with you. They're not going to have a cup of coffee with you on Sunday morning.
I remember when I was a Mormon missionary, there was in Spokane, there was this family. The guy was like a stake president, I think, which is just a high up position of leadership in the Mormon church. And they had 12 kids, and number 13 was on the way. And I remember like a testimony meeting, which I've explained to you guys before, but it's like it's this thing that Mormons do where one Sunday a month, it's just like an open mic and you can come up and talk about like whatever. And I remember her coming up and talking about how she was pregnant, and she's like, our doctor told us after the 11th that if I had another kid, there was a good chance I would die. And I had number 12, and now my doctor says if I have number 13, there's even a higher chance that I die. And here we are with 13. And I was like, everyone's like, what a hero. I thought I was like, looking back at the time as a Mormon, I was like, yeah, that's fine. God's got this. And she is, to my knowledge, she's alive. I just thought it was an interesting thing to brag about. Just like, I'm just risking it. Yeah, it is some Duggar shit. Yeah, didn't she have something like that? Like she had some sort of health problem where she wasn't supposed to have kids, but she just did anyways. I need to raise my chair a little bit to play this out.
It is the people that you put around you, which is your family. I think that is the most important. And I think starting young is important. Have kids. And again, it's not easy, right? It's hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just can't afford a house right now. Can't afford your bills. No health insurance. You know what'll fix it? Just start having kids. That'll make everything better. Stuff starts falling out after 6. I don't know. I don't even like.
I think the mess.
I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough about that to know if that's a joke or not. I'm pretty sure that's a joke, but if it's not, sorry that after 6 kids stuff falls out. Yeah, that sounds terrible. All right. Fetterman's kind of upset today too. Is this the right one? I put it on here twice. Fetterman went on with Barry Weiss because why not be on with Barry Weiss? And Fetterman and Barry Weiss here are struggling. They can't figure out one of the other shifts in this country. There's a lot of shifts that are happening right now. One, people are realizing Trump's a fraud. Obviously, younger people are moving in one of 2 directions. They're either becoming more socialist or more racist and bigoted, depending on which side of the aisle you're on. And then you have these folks stuck in the middle, like, what happened? We used to be a country that was synonymous with Israel, and now nobody likes Israel. And Barry Weiss and John Fetterman try and figure that out together, and it's worth the 2 minutes.
It's becoming almost impossible to be an outspoken defender of Jews and defender of Israel and to be a proud Democrat. Why? Why is that happening? Why has that been allowed to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I've witnessed it. You know, like for 2 years, I've had protesters showing up at my home, in my office. And
by the way, I think I just heard, didn't he he had to be rushed to the hospital yesterday or something like that? That just happened? I don't know when this interview was, but that's what I heard.
in public, you know, we even with one of my kids. And now social media was an accelerant for anti-Semitism. And TikTok, you know, like
listen to how they explain it. This is such an old person way to explain things, but it's like it's the internet that's doing it. But then listen to how they explain how it was actually TikTok's fault.
There was the study, 17-1, anti-Israel for every one pro-Israel one.
Yeah, that's not TikTok's fault. TikTok doesn't make the content. I don't think any of them know how this works. That means out of all the people that were making content, 17 out of 18 were like, fuck Israel. And they're like, this must be TikTok's fault. That's a tough percentage to break through.
And the algorithm has accelerated this, and that's why we've lost the.
That's not an algorithm, though, right? Like, if it's 17 videos to 1, that's not really algorithmically cheating. That's just like the algorithm showing you what people think.
The younger vote, and I struggle with the younger voters as well too, because that's a strong correlation with being very pro-Israel, and that's now being increasingly incompatible with parts of the base.
Do you see that changing? Is there a way to change those minds?
Yeah, you could not do genocide. That'd be a good way. You could say, I don't, even just like it's softly saying, hey, maybe we give it a rest. Something like that. You could do anything but what you've been doing, which is like, it's totally not a genocide. This is all fair. Don't pay attention to it. October 7th, only think about October 7th. You could try a different strategy, I think.
Right now, no, I don't. And I have no regrets, you know.
He sucks so bad. By the way, it wasn't me. He said, please say hi to Jody, my BFF, who just followed. Hey, Jody, how are you? Welcome. That's great. Like, you represent people, dude. And if you are representing your constituents and what you're doing is against what they want you to do, you should have regrets.
I have no regrets, you know. I could keel over tomorrow, but one of the things I'm proud of is standing with Israel after the Gaza war. They deserved a committed voice through that terrible war. That's the worst since the Holocaust.
It's so brave of you to stand. Yeah. What? Wait. Hold on. Wait a second. Sorry, I missed that the first time. You said what there?
Through that terrible war. That's the worst since the Holocaust.
Wait. Wasn't the Holocaust a genocide? If I remember correctly. Did you just admit that? Did he just admit it?
And now the cheapening of our language, genocide, and using those terms. I mean, that's just categorically not what occurred in the Gaza war. And having to.
Then why'd you just compare it to the Holocaust? Maybe you should have chose a different event to compare it to.
That's part of the tragedy now, and the smear, and whether it's the blood libel, whatever that is called, it's like Israel never targeted civilians, and they never tried to starve or committed any kinds of genocide.
Huh? I think maybe the reason you're losing is because you say stuff like, we have the internet, dude. What do you mean? Where did those dead children come from? What about the hospitals? It's like, I do feel like this is the craziest our country's ever been. Like, this is the furthest we've ever been from reality. And you really do, like, you have the confluence of Israel, but also Donald Trump. Like, he broke the brains of so many Americans, where whatever is actually true, MAGA just believes the opposite of that. And even then, like, he lost MAGA. We're in the upside down. It does feel like that. Yeah, you're right. That was a terrible response. Somewhere his AIPAC rep is like, fucking John, God damn it. I told you, no more podcasts. No, John, no more microphones for you. That was a terrible defense for Israel. All right. We do have a shout out to everybody who is boycotting Starbucks. I do want to make something known here. This Starbucks cup here that I have. I did not go to Starbucks to get this. Our lobby just has Starbucks cups, and so we get coffee out of my lobby. So this is not actually Starbucks. It's actually my own home brew here because I don't like their coffee. I just wanted the cup there. So, but we have a boycott. The Starbucks employees, and I think it's still going today, isn't it? I've been boycotting. Starbucks is terrible anyways. It's the worst coffee. I've never understood what, I mean, I think maybe they're just like good at adding sugar and making their coffee not taste like coffee, but I'm like I'm a coffee drinker. Starbucks is trash. We have so many good options here, local ones. And I'm going to Mexico this week, and I buy there's a local coffee shop there that they make their own beans, and then I bring some home. My biggest flaw is trash talking Florida and Starbucks. That's you should trash talk Florida and you should trash talk Starbucks. And here, maybe this will explain it to you, Amanda. That's why we don't like Starbucks.
Every Starbucks barista is suffering right now.
Yeah.
All of the policies.
We love you all going home today. Yeah, Johnny's going home. W Johnny in the chat today. And 7-Eleven, thank you for the super chat as well.
That have rolled out under Brian Nickel have only made workers' jobs harder, and they've not improved the environments in these stores. They have not improved the customer experience at all, which is why we've actually only seen our organizing increase under the reign of Brian Nickel. We've organized over 160 stores, I think, since he stepped into that role. So non-union or union, workers are recognizing that this company is not willing to step up and take care of them. They are willing to invest millions upon millions of dollars in other places, like $96 million.
Zane says Amanda fell asleep during her own live last night.
Pay package that Brian Nickel got for just the first 4 months of his employment with the company. They spent $81 million on a 4-day managers conference in Vegas this past June. So we know the company has money. They are obviously not hurting for money. But unfortunately, they're not investing in their hourly workforce, the people who bring in that revenue, the people who create those relationships with the customers that get them to come back into these stores and spend money every single day. They're not putting the money in the right place. And the unionized workers are fighting very hard to improve this business. Like, we want the company to be successful. We want the company to succeed. It would be counterproductive for us to not want that. And we've presented a lot of options to the company to help fix these issues. Wouldn't it be nice to walk into a Starbucks for your peppermint mocha this holiday season and not have to wait?
No, it would not be nice to walk into Starbucks for a peppermint mocha for any reason. No, it's not even a Starbucks thing.
40 minutes, not have to see 2 or 3 baristas running around doing the job of 5 or 6 people because they simply have not allotted enough labor to cover the business that store is doing. It's wild to me when we see, or I hear a store manager say something like, oh, well, people just don't want to work. There are baristas who are dying for hours, who are begging to be scheduled so that they can pay their bills, so that they can qualify for these amazing benefits the company says they offer. And they're just simply not being scheduled. So this is not a matter of not having enough workers. It's a matter of not scheduling these workers enough to cover the needs of the business and to make sure that they have the ability to qualify for benefits and pay their bills. So many Starbucks baristas depend on SNAP and Medicaid. Why does a multi-billion-dollar corporation have employees that are subsidized by the government? That just
Do we have MAGA here yet today? Like, I kind of wanted to play this at the beginning because I get tired of seeing the same comments, which is like, well, then work somewhere else. If you don't like it, work somewhere else. You don't need health benefits. Go work at a place that has health benefits. Work for yourself. Take a risk. Don't complain about it. Don't be a victim. I don't think they're here yet.
doesn't compute.
Yeah.
Right.
Great point.
Great question.
And so we're done waiting around. Baristas are tired. This will get bigger. It will be the biggest and longest strike in company history if the company doesn't return to meet the demands. And we're asking our allies to stand with us. For every single barista who's out there on the strike line, a dozen allies have committed to not cross the picket line and not.
I love that. All right. Well, keep it going. Some of you may consider a new Starbucks boycott. I don't. I go to a place called the Cup of Joey. It's this Australian man that talks to you for like an hour when you go in there. That's my favorite place to get coffee. Coffee's not even that good. I just actually like that guy. And they have books and stuff in there. You can sit there and read children's books. They've got like a little spot where you could, I think it's for kids to play with toys, but they got like an abacus, which is fun for me. Dutch Bros. Dutch Bros is nice because you get like 60 ounces of coffee. You can just get like a large. What? How many ounces? It's like 20 ounces at Starbucks. You go to Dutch Bros, you just get like a gallon of coffee with a straw. It's amazing. I'm a Democrat. Just get a new job. All right, thanks, Steve. Well, you might be a Democrat, but that's a crazy thing to say, Steve. Why don't we just have a better system? Why don't we make a system where it's more fair, where we more equally distribute money? Why not do that, Steve? Why always tell people just to go get a new job like it's that easy? Some people don't have that option. If you're in like a relatively small town where you're big enough to have a Starbucks, but not big enough to have like a bunch of other jobs, you think that's a good way to handle that? Just, you go get another job. I can't get another job. Okay, well then just move. Well, I can't afford to move because I don't make enough money. I'm tired of like this idea of like the American dream and American exceptionalism and like pull yourself up by your bootstraps means we have to just like not complain or talk about a completely rigged system. Why is the response not to fix the system? Why is like advocating for better things considered complaining? I think what it is that a lot of people don't want to take the time to process new ideas. Or they look at America and they think, oh, things are good. Like, I don't want to rock the boat. Maybe if we make a change. And I do think that like decades of these billionaires telling you that if we tax them, they're going to flee and that it'll drive everybody's wages up and that like a hamburger is going to cost $40. I did this the other day. I don't remember exactly what the total was, but how much is a cheeseburger at like a McDouble? I think it's like $3 or $4 now at McDonald's. There was a video of this guy that had 20 cheeseburgers. Or 18 cheeseburgers, and he said like, I don't remember what year it was, maybe 2000. He's like, I could buy 18 cheeseburgers for $20. He's like, now $20 bought me, and he had like 5 or 6 cheeseburgers. And I did the math with inflation. I think the math with inflation for those 20 cheeseburgers should have been like he should have been able to still get like 13 or something if it just kept up with inflation. Like we've moved way past inflation, and we didn't raise the minimum wage. In fact, during this time, we've just cut taxes for those people. It hasn't driven up wages, and the cost of food went up while they're cutting wages all over the place. 400% increase, is that what it was? Which, yeah, with annual inflation being 2 to 3, I think annual inflation at 2.5. I remember when they had 39-cent burgers. I remember actually, this was after high school. They had that dollar menu. You could get like a McChicken, a McDouble. They had like a fruit and yogurt parfait. There was like a legit. You could feed yourself too much for $5. You get yourself 1,000 calories for $5 over there. You feed 2 people for $5. And they fearmonger all the time. Oh, well, if you make them pay the employees more, then they'll raise prices. Well, they're going to do it anyways. And by the way, nobody's going to pay like $15 for a cheeseburger. They still have to deal with the market. It's not like people are going to go to McDonald's and say, I'm going to pay $17 for a cheeseburger when you can go to Five Guys, and then suddenly you can't outsell Five Guys. I mean, it's basically the same price as In-N-Out now. I think In-N-Out, last time I was in there, they said they were starting people at like $16.75. I think that was their starting hourly wage. How can In-N-Out make it work and have better food? Unless we collapse it all. Let's do it, Randy. Let's collapse the whole thing. Welcome to anarchy, my friend. All right. This is somebody that works for Snap named Ellen May. Look for her to be fired very soon because she went on MSNBC and did this interview.
Joining me now, Ellen May, a furloughed federal worker and chapter president of the NTEU Chapter 255. Ellen, I want to let people know you are not representing your employer here. You're here speaking for yourself. Just how are you doing? How are your coworkers feeling?
Hi, Chris. Thank you so much for having me here.
$22 at In-N-Out in California. Crazy. And look, and it's not like their prices are skyrocketing, and it's way better.
Yeah. My coworkers and I are feeling really conflicted in this moment. So many of us have. Sorry,
I remember that. Funny story about the 39-cent, like, was it Biggie size or supersize it? Who did Biggie size? Was that Wendy's? A friend of mine, his dad, they immigrated from South Africa, And so he had his really thick South African accent. And his dad, when we go through the drive-through, he would just pull, Wendy's. He'd pull up and he'd just go to the window and go, I'll have a biggie size, 59 cents. And they're like, what? He's like, biggie size, 59 cents. And they're like, what do you want a biggie size? No, just the biggie size, 59 cents, please. And he would just fuck with them forever. Sometimes he would get it. Sometimes on top of the order, he would just they would just give up and give him the biggie size.
Been overworked and exhausted since April, when we lost half of the staff in our office. And so we feel even guilty for like seeing this as a reprieve, because what we really want to do is to be at work helping the people who rely on SNAP and WIC to feed their families and to put food on their tables.
Sorry, I missed that one earlier. Just curious, does RTP stand for Republican turned progressive? No, it really stands for nothing. I used to do a podcast with my friends like years ago. It was called Riding the Pine. It was RTP. And then I got into like sports betting, and I made sports betting content, and I had a logo already with RTP, so I just kept it. And then I kind of fell into politics on accident, and then I turned this into my job. And it really is, it's the logo that you see right here was always the logo. And so I just kept it because I already had a logo made. So it really doesn't mean anything. But that's pretty good. Republican turned progressive would be good. I like that one.
We're feeling angry at being treated as political pawns again, so that billionaires can have more money while the people that we serve are being, strained even further and having to worry again about their benefits being at play. And we're also just anxious because we're hearing about the RIF potentials and office closures that are looming over USDA as this shutdown kind of drags on.
So have you gotten any clarity, any reassurance about the security of your job?
No, since we logged off yesterday after about 10 a.m., we haven't heard anything. Since we're not allowed to touch our government furnished devices after a shutdown, we've just been waiting to see how this all unfolds, just like everybody else.
Do you have any sense about the food assistance programs that you work on? Any idea how long their funding might last?
Yeah, so for SNAP at least, we think that they will be okay for the month of October.
All right, so obviously that's an older interview, but I wanted to show this because I think we're going to see this name be fired here now that the government's opening back up. So just keep an eye out on the name Ellen May, or me. I don't know how to say that. I think it's May, M-E-I. I show that because like, You look at what's happening in this administration and the way that they're going about firing people and just being blatantly corrupt. One of the things that right now that the granola moms are pissed at, and don't worry, guys, we will get to the Epstein stuff. Shit, it's the wrong one. What did I just do? How did I do all of that? How did I move everything over? I don't know how I did that. The MAGA moms are pretty pissed off right now because it doesn't seem like they're doing much for the MAGA folks. This is Tiffany. I think it's Shansi. We've covered a couple of her videos. She's pretty good at going on in depth on certain topics. She's also a Zionist and not somebody that I really like. But we covered her one time when she talked about the increase in the cost of AC units and how they were using financing to drive up the cost of AC units. If you remember that. Now she's talking about the upheaval with the MAGA folks, because it looks like Susie Wiles of this administration doesn't give a fuck. And I keep telling you this, but like I think the reason that Donald Trump's administration seems so bizarre is because Trump has all these different players that have paid him money, and he keeps trying to do favors for all of them, and sometimes they're at odds with each other. Now, the MAGA movement, like they're going to get the least amount of attention and the least amount of stuff done for them. One, because they don't have rich donors, and they really only brought RFK in to try and win an election. They thought that they could take that movement. They saw an opportunity for them to adopt those voters, and those voters would come over with RFK, and ultimately, I think they were right about that. But they're not doing much for them, and now the MAGA people are starting to get pissed.
Actually function. We needed all of the health agencies to buy into MAGA. And what happened was, I think that Trump's team very clearly saw that there was immense popularity on both sides of the aisle for the idea of making our children healthy.
Jay, being a coffee snob, fits his boomer aesthetic. I know, I drink shitty coffee. I just don't like Starbucks. Thank you, though.
Again, and making our food supply clean again.
Hard to argue against that. Yeah.
How do you not want to see our children healthy? We are sicker than any nation on the planet. Right. But it would have required us to get buy-in at the EPA and the USDA. And instead, what happened was to pacify the donor base. We got, in my opinion, probably a Susie Wiles negotiation, because she was also, remember, she was a huge lobbyist and negotiated all of Pfizer's demands during COVID, right? Susie Wiles made the trade-off. We're going to give Bobby Kennedy HHS. We're going to use Doge to plant a bunch of like darlings of CEO, Accent Healthcare people all around him to roadblock him. But then what we're going to do is we're going to put in agrochemical lobbyists in charge of the EPA.
Right.
And we're going to put a bunch of lobbyist darlings for industrial food companies in charge of the USDA.
Do you remember when we were like debating with MAGA and they were talking about, I mean, every MAGA in the world's like, if you go to Europe and you eat pasta, you don't get fat. And what's with all of our meat? All of our meat has chemicals in it. The MAGA movement's going to change that. Well, have they done anything for that? Have they done anything to make our food healthier? They haven't given us health care. Looks like they're going to make GLP-1s the same price that Biden did, but they're just taking credit for it now. Looks to me like they're taking like any farmers that we had left that were farming in an ethical way. Looks like they're trying to run them out and just move straight to factory farming. It's wild to watch, too, to watch the MAGA people, to watch RFK, to watch Dr. Oz just act like they're actually getting something done. And they openly praise Trump all the time. He's not doing anything for them. It's almost like RFK didn't actually care about this shit. It's almost like he was just an anti-vaxxer the whole time, and that's all he really fucking cared about. Ty said, what's going on with X and Tucker and the FBI? I don't know anything about that. Send me a link. Belinda, thank you for the super chat.
And then we're going to consolidate more power, which is why our food costs are skyrocketed, right? They're talking, nobody's talking about doing anything about the monopoly that is limiting our ability to have access to clean meat in this country. And now we're going to buy it.
That's right. I forgot about raw milk. Forgot about the raw milk craze. Kristen said, happy Friday. Thanks for all you do. Thanks, Kristen.
From Argentina. That's the next thing we're going to do is buy it from Argentina. But if we had put somebody that was actually MAGA aligned and wanted us to have access to clean, healthy eating over at the USDA, and we had not stripped all of the programs that were actually furthering that agenda, we could be making massive differences right now. And instead, we gave the people a carrot in Bobby and then cut him off at the knees with the agencies he needed to work with them.
Right.
And
now, that's not entirely true, because since Donald Trump has been president and since RFK has been in charge of HHS, I do see a lot more videos on X of people, what do you call it, sunbathing their assholes? I forget what they call it, but just the people that go outside and spread their cheeks and point it at the sun. I think there's a term for it, but I keep seeing videos of people like talk about the benefits of sunbathing your asshole. Do you guys know what it's called? What's it called? It's not bleaching. They just sunning. See, it's called sunning. There you go. It's called sunning. Have you guys seen taint tanning? Yeah. Got to get that vitamin D direct to the brown eye. Soaking. No, soaking's different. Yeah, a lot of listeria outbreaks. I think we've had, what did we have the outbreak of in Texas? What was everybody getting? Besides dumber. We build our own algorithms. Shut up. You don't. Shut up. How about that? Perennial sunning. That's what it is. It's just asshole sunning. I don't, isn't a perennial, isn't it a flower? Measles. Was it measles that was in Texas? Is that what they had the outbreak of? Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't know what it's called. Jen was quick on that. I don't know. Don't be accusing me. Jen knew exactly what we were talking about very quickly. And it has been a sunny year. It has been in a little bit better mood.
I'm a plethora of useless knowledge. So.
Sure. What does it feel like? Can you feel the vitamin D? Jenna's ass up right now. I don't know. What is the idea behind sunning your butthole? I don't know. I think it really does. I think it is supposed to have some. Let's look it up. All right, we're going to look it up. Perennial sunning.
I don't think that actually has any legit benefits. I think it was just it didn't come from South Park or another show.
I don't know, but what is the perineum?
I mean, that's in the butt, Bob.
Is that the knot? Is the perineum the knot? I don't know what it's called.
I think it is the taint.
I thought. All right, listen. I always thought the taint was the area between the knot and for me, the sack. I thought it was that skin area.
I mean, I think that the technical term is perennial, whatever it is.
Perineum.
That's actual word. Yeah.
All right. Well, the says a viral wellness trend involving exposing the perineum to sunlight, with proponents claiming benefits like improved energy, sleep, and hormone function. No scientific evidence to support these claims, and medical experts and dermatologists strongly advise against it. That'd be a tough place to get a sunburn, especially if you have regular bowel movements. That'd be tough. The practice can cause severe sunburn, pain, and increase the risk of skin cancer in a highly sensitive area. You know, somebody did it as a joke originally, and then just like Maha fell for it. They're like, actually, that does make sense. It does make sense.
So tonight with Kyle, I had called it stargazing.
Here's the safer alternatives. By the way, spend time in the sun with sunscreen on, sleep more, and eat a healthy diet. Or you could skip all of that and just point your stinker to the sky, and you'll be fine. Have some Taco Bell. You can wipe that out the next day by 20 minutes, ass up on a sunny day. If we're talking, it's science. That's what it is, Valerie. We're talking about science today. It's been a weird morning for me. Okay, it's been just a weird day. All right.
We're talking about anatomy.
That's right. Try and keep up. I want to show this. Well, I'm going to skip that Dr. Oz stuff. We'll go. Let's just get into Epstein. We can go back to the other stuff later. Let's start with Trump's response. This is definitely what like a guilty person would say. The Democrats are doing everything in their withering power to push the Epstein hoax again, despite the DOJ releasing 50,000 pages of documents in order to deflect. What? When did the DOJ? Where were is he talking about the stuff that was all redacted? Is that what he's referencing here? The stuff that they gave to those influencers? Like 50,000 pages of black ink? In order to deflect from all their bad policies and losses, especially the shutdown embarrassment, where they're, this is a fucking run-on sentence, where their party is in total disarray and has no idea what to do. That was all one sentence. Good Lord. Some weak Republicans have fallen into their clutches because they are soft and foolish, not hard like Bill. Epstein was a Democrat, and he is the Democrats' problem, not the Republicans' problem. Ask Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, and Larry Summers about Epstein. They know all about him. Don't waste your time with Trump. I have a country to run. This is... If it was anybody but Donald Trump, if he wasn't the president, every human that read this would be like, "Oh shit, that guy's fucking guilty." Nobody would think that this was like a good defense unless you're just predispositioned to love him. Katrina says, for your taint sunning budget, thank you. I'll be in Mexico next week, and there is like this rooftop like patio, so I will be seeing what the sun in Mexico can do for me. I hear they have more vitamin D down there, and it's a little more humid, so I think you get like the moisture plus the sun, which is nice. That probably protects against drying out your skin too much. Guys, I think we broke him, though. I think he's completely broken. On the day of the Epstein files, where he's clearly frazzled with... I don't know who chose this tie either. He gave they had a event at the White House about adoption and foster care, and I think he didn't know they were talking about like adopting. I think he was talking about like they were going to adopt a new foster care system, because This is insane. Listen to what he said here.
Christians and more, think of this, more than twice as likely foster care. They'll adopt the general population. They adopt to it so easily. When they get out, they adapt to it just like it's just
Oh, maybe he's thinking adapt. Maybe he thinks adopt means adapt.
Adopt the general population. They adopt to it so easily. When they get out, they adapt to it just like it's just becomes second nature. It's amazing. Yet radical left policies in states nationwide make it much harder, not easier, for those families to.
Yeah, and not easier. These are all the ad libs. Is it because he sucks at reading? So when he gets stuck, he just ad libs. They adopt to it. I mean, they're in foster care. They get out in the real world and they just adopt to the real world. We broke him. We finally did it. We finally broke him.
Yet radical left policies in states nationwide make it much harder, not easier, for those families to open up their homes.
Yes, he's cooked. His brain is absolutely fucked. And it's not even going to be a story, and it shouldn't be a story because he's all over the Epstein files. But right-wing media has collectively lost their fucking minds. And I'm just going to show you how they covered this yesterday. Now, I think we covered it fairly. I think we've continued to cover it fairly. I've repeatedly said we do not know if Donald Trump, if there's going to be any accusations that come out about him. He clearly was Epstein's friend. I think we've taken the information and we've done a pretty good job of just saying, here's what it says, and we've tried not to draw conclusions. But I think that it's real clear now that some of these people on the right are absolutely paid by this administration to run cover. And let's start with somebody who we know got paid by Russia to run cover, Benny Johnson. And the new conspiracy theory that they're going to go with is, and you'll hear this from a lot of them, is that they probably unalived Virginia Giuffre because she was going to exonerate Trump.
Virginia Roberts is out there talking to all of the press, all of the media, telling them everything about Bill Clinton, telling them everything about the truth of Jeffrey Epstein and his operation. I'm not trying to discount.
Sorry, Purdy Kiki said for the gold. Thanks for you, to you and Jen. Thank you, Purdy Kiki.
I'm not trying to discount other women that Jeffrey Epstein abused, and there were other women. But I'm saying that Virginia Roberts has all the
guy says, "Tain't nothing wrong with the little son."
Receipts to back everything up. And in a world where people, you can obviously see the way that things go. So they go the way of BLM. They obviously go the way of Me Too and BLM, right?
There you go. Throwing the catchphrases. Guys, don't believe this. Remember, here's some other things you don't believe in. BLM and Me Too. Remember those things? This is the same.
And you sort of get a feeding frenzy on this kind of stuff. It's important to have people that are above reproach. People who've obviously been doing this for a long time, who stand to no financial benefit, who are just there for the truth, right? And for justice.
You got paid by Russia and you get paid by this administration to do propaganda for them. The fuck are you talking about? You're the last, you're of all, like, go through the entire media. There's only a handful of people who have been caught being paid by a foreign country, and Benny Johnson's one of them. And what did he get out of it? He got a spot out in the White House press pool. He gets to follow around Kristi Noem as a propagandist. Like, they just brought him into the fold. After he got caught taking money from Russia, they're like, you clearly can be bought. Welcome. Jerry said, adopt to your surroundings. Jamar said, I'm not cheating, honey. I'm just putting vitamin D in my asshole. Thank you.
And Virginia Roberts was just one of those people, and her voice would be very important right now, especially as Democrats try and run this op against Trump. It's almost like they knew the op was going to happen, and they needed to make sure that the key witness, who was constantly saying that Donald Trump did nothing wrong, she was...
No, she wasn't. And watch the quote that he puts up here. This reminds me of that dipshit dumb motherfucker that made clips about me. Like, if you're going to lie about what somebody said, a good idea is to not put their direct quote right next to you. So thank God Benny Johnson isn't lying and then putting up their direct quote that doesn't say that right next to him. Good. Thank God he didn't do that.
Constantly.
Oh, fuck, he did it. Oh, fuck. Have you ever been in Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein's presence with one another? No. That's it. That's the whole that's the whole thing. Have you ever been with them together? No.
Saying this. Again, you can find deposition after deposition after deposition where she is asked about Donald Trump. You know, it would just blow the hole in the entire operation.
Blow the hole is what apparently Donald did to Bill.
If you have this woman out there who's saying no, Trump.
Are you seeing this too? Like, this is their chat. Like, he's getting absolutely killed in his own chat. You're a brainwashed moron.
Did nothing wrong.
Rob Jackson, these demon shit bro. Oh, this is good. These demon shit brainless trolls have literally been waiting for the Epstein list to show up to see our boss Trump's name on, and it's not, and they're demon shits.
Just seems all too convenient, doesn't it?
Yeah. When did she die? Like a couple years ago, right? Last year? So convenient. When did she die? When was it? Oh, it was earlier this year. Okay. So it was in April, and now convenient. I don't know if that is convenient. We're in November now. Not sure if that's convenient. So there's Benny there.
Convenient.
And then I don't even
Virginia
know.
Roberts.
I don't even know what the fuck to do with this clip. I don't even know how to analyze this next clip. This is just one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. I don't know what he's trying to say here. It sounds like he's poo-pooing child sex abuse. You guys can decide. This was just weird.
I guess we should start, ladies and gentlemen, with the biggest backfire, which is the claim that Donald Trump was spending hours with one of the Epstein victims. Oh boy, very naughty here. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, want to hear? Yeah. I think he maybe didn't know what to say. That's not a good. If I'm him, if I'm running cover, I'm not showing this headline. If my job is to run cover, how do you take Donald Trump spend hours alone with one of the victims and then go, oh no, what was he babysitting? What was he doing? In what scenario would a grown man spending hours alone with a victim be okay? And then you say this?
Oh boy, very naughty here. Goodness gracious. So naughty. The Democrats released an email that said, yo, here's President Trump spending time with Epstein victim.
It said, yo. It did not say, yo. That was naughty. It was naughty that you added yo in there, Benny.
Right? Okay, so let's click through. Please scroll down and click through the Democrats' email. Let's go through and debunk the whole thing.
Okay.
So they released this. They should be sued for this. I mean, I know.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if you can. I don't know how that works. It's hard to sue the federal government. They should be.
Unless you're Lindsey Graham and Josh Hawley. What you have to do if you want to sue the federal government is write it into legislation so that you can benefit.
Be sued for this. Oversight Democrats. Let's go to the first page here. Look at this naughty email from Jeffrey Epstein.
Could we stop saying naughty, please, when it comes to child sex abuse and Jeffrey Epstein? Could we stop making it sound like you're into it, Benny, for a second?
Here's Jeffrey Epstein emailing Ghislaine Maxwell. I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Oh no. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what that means in just a second. Victim, they black out the name. Victim.
He's so weird. He is so fucking weird. Oh, no. He has no idea what to do with this. This is what you're actually watching. He has no fucking clue how to handle this because this is weird. And he has to figure out a way that this isn't weird. I would have recommended not covering it then. Yeah, he's an absolute creep.
Spent hours at his house. Wow. One of my victims. Girl who was abused or whatever. I just assume that she was, yes, abused by Trump. This is what the allegations say here from the Democrats. Klein?
Yeah, that's what it says. It says that I want you to realize that the dog hasn't barked at Trump. Virginia spent hours at my house with him. He's never once been mentioned. Why wouldn't you mention that? If that said, I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Clinton. Virginia spent hours at my house with him. Every Republican on earth would be clamoring to publicly execute him. That's significant. It's significant that Trump spent hours. And by the way, Trump also seemed to know who she was. Remember a couple months ago when they were, I should have probably had this. Let me see if I can find it real quick. When he was asked, he remembered her. She was a child. And Trump was asked about her in an interview, and he remembered who she was. Is this it? Let's see. Yeah.
Obviously, but just curious, were some of the workers that were taken from you, were some of them young women?
Were some of them
young women?
Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. But that story's been pretty well out there. And the answer is yes, they were.
Yes, they were young women?
What did they do? In the spa. Spa. Yeah, people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago. And people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told him, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want him taking people. And he was fine. And then not too long after that, he did it again, and I said, out of here.
That also debunks the entire talking point that he got rid of Epstein for abusing somebody, sexually assaulting somebody's kid. From Trump's own mouth, the reason he got rid of Epstein is because he was taking people that worked at Mar-a-Lago. I would challenge anybody who ever brings that story up that Trump got rid of Epstein and kicked him out of his club for, one, why didn't you call the police then, Trump? Why is there no police report? You found out that he was sexually abusing kids at your club, and you didn't call the police? Secondly, Trump seems to say that's not the case. Trump seems to say that it was all about him stealing people. And Trump said everybody knows who this was. So Trump remembers an underage girl named Virginia Giuffre very well. I don't think I have this sneaking suspicion he wasn't that involved in Mar-a-Lago, that he knew everybody on a first name basis years later. But he debunks that. MAGA still rolls with that story, and it's not true. Trump has debunked that story himself. The evidence that happened came from an unnamed source in an interview years ago. That story's never been confirmed. Trump, the first time Trump has ever addressed that story, he said it's not true, and yet people in this administration, Mike Johnson, Pam Bondi, they repeat that story as if it's true, and it's not.
Click out of this. Click out of this. Click out. Out. Out, my friend.
Yeah, fuck you guys when you think I suck media, okay? How about this guy? He's so bad at this, he can't even run his own computer. So I don't want to hear any more shit from any of you.
There you go. Now click on this one. There you go. There you go. You gotta keep up. Here we go, rocking and rolling. Sometimes on these things, it's better if I just run it with my window. But nonetheless, here we go. There it is. You can see how the Democrats blotted out victim.
Oh! Ah! What? Mike Johnson's been telling us we have to redact victims' names this whole fucking time. Now, there is a little bit of controversy here because Melanie Stansbury from New Mexico was on with MSNBC, and they said that the Democrats were accused of blacking this out. And Stansbury said, no, it came to us like that. But when they released these files, it wasn't blacked out. So I am guessing that Stansbury was wrong, that somebody did black this out because it was the name of a victim. Maybe they didn't realize that was Virginia Giuffre. Maybe they did. Maybe they were just blacking out the name. But this is what they're going to point to now. And this is what I remember we talk about, like the way that Milley debates. They just try and find something, just fucking anything to clear Donald Trump. And what they're going for now is they blacked out the name. That's it. So somebody obviously blacked this out. It doesn't look like it came to them blacked out. I don't know if anybody wants to do research there, but what in the world would that prove? What could that possibly prove? Yes, just asking questions is so doubt and conspiracy works for Tucker, and they're going to focus on this. And every right-wing content creator is going to talk about this. When you guys go in, they'll get it. It's going to go down. It's going to go from Benny, but you're going to hear it from everybody on TikTok that's debating. They're going to focus on this one part. My suggestion is if you're in that debate, just ask them why that matters. It's blacked out in the screens, but not the text. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm not sure what that means. Blacked out on the screens? Yeah, it was Virginia's name. We have the text. You can go look at it yourself. So if you go click on the files that they released, it says Virginia. It proves that. Pristine biscuit. It proves that. Redacted. Guy said, tain't nothing wrong with a little son. Tain't nothing wrong with a little son. I like that. Soup for my fam says, for spacing on Virginia, would say this was shopped. Oh, the spacing. Angie said, let's soak. Thank you, Angie.
Wow. Look at that. Trump must have done something super naughty here.
Stop saying naughty, you fucking creep. Stop that. Stop saying naughty. Ryan said, I knew the sicko fuck magas in the chat have no morals besides Trump. They're all fucking mental weak fucks. God damn, I must have missed something in the chat. Jerry Mandarin says, adopt to your surroundings, please. Yeah, stop saying naughty. All right, let's get to, I think, Tim Pool, I think is who I had next. Yeah, here's Tim Pool. He's going to say the same shit. They're all running cover for this guy. What? Why?
Democrats recently released emails from Jeffrey Epstein, as well as emails between Jeffrey Epstein and journalist Michael Wolff, which they said proves Donald Trump was engaged in untoward activity, and that is an understatement.
Also, nobody said that. Actually, I haven't heard any of them. They've been really careful. I've seen Ro Khanna. I've seen Thomas Massie. I've seen, what's his name? Oh, Lord, I'm getting worse at this. Anyways, I don't think I've seen any of them say that Donald Trump is accused of a crime in any of these emails. Nobody's saying that. But what Republicans have to do right now is construct this narrative where they can attack Democrats rather than pay attention to what's actually in the files. They've got to figure out a way that they can address this without talking about Donald Trump. So now they're just making up stories. They're making up conspiracy theories that everybody is saying this proves Trump is guilty. I don't know of anybody on the oversight committee who has said that. Does anybody have? Can you guys give me a name of a Democrat that is getting these files that has said that? What do you mean we have nothing? See, Frank, this is the problem with all of you. You guys are all the same. We're not accusing Donald Trump of doing any of these things. We're just reading the fucking emails. You guys are just obsessed with him. You guys, you don't care about abuse victims. You don't care about any of these people. The only thing you're thinking in your head is, I hope this doesn't come back on Donald. Not Donald. Look, it's not Donald. Look, okay, cool. Just read them with us then. But why are your people saying this? Your people seem to be the ones that are obsessed with Donald Trump. I'm showing you your people. They're trying to create a new conspiracy that somehow this is the Democrats. No, it's Jeffrey Epstein. You know, the world's most notorious pedophile, and your side, for some reason, doesn't want to release it. That's how you guys are involved. We've been trying to get these released since August, and you guys have been standing in the way since August. You're implying. Toughen up. This is the thing. Read the fucking emails. Interpret them however you want, but I'm not making shit up. These guys are Tim Pool's making shit up. There's not a single Democrat who has said, in fact, they've gone out of their way to say, this doesn't accuse him of a crime. I don't know why he's hiding this. If Trump's not accused of a crime, so far everything we've seen says he's not accused of a crime. If he's not accused of a crime, why wouldn't he want this released? You guys aren't going to ask that. Dems blocked the vote. No, that's a lie too, Boba T. We covered it yesterday. That's a lie too. That's a lie you've been told. Democrats didn't block the release. Do you want to see it again? We'll show you. Let's remind you guys, in case you guys weren't here yesterday, we'll remind you of how this went. Here you go.
Rise. Mr. Speaker, I ask you.
All right. I don't remember this guy's name.
Gentleman from Tennessee, rise.
Forget his name. He's the speaker, what do you call it? Pro tempore or whatever. This is a Republican. Okay? This is a Republican.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that the Committee on the Judiciary be discharged from further consideration of H.R. 4405 and ask for its immediate consideration in the House.
Under guidelines consistently issued by successive speakers, as recorded in Section 956 of the House Rules and Manual, the chair is constrained not to entertain the request unless it has been cleared by the bipartisan floor and committee leaderships.
Republican tells him no, it's against the rules to do this. Did I say pro tempore? Yeah. Okay, then he tries again. By the way, Mike Johnson claimed today that he did this. Mike Johnson said, "Oh, I brought this up on the floor." No, he didn't. It was Burchett. We're going to try again here.
The gentleman from Tennessee seek recognition.
Now he's going to try and get it on the record. He's going to say, "Hey, could you tell everybody that this is the Dems' fault?"
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Speaker. We Republicans are requesting this unanimous consent. Are Democrats objecting to this request?
Are the Democrats objecting to this? Please, sir, tell us. Are the Democrats objecting?
Chair reminds the gentleman from Tennessee that, as indicated by Section 956 of the House Rules and Manual, it is not a proper parliamentary inquiry to ask the chair to indicate which side of the aisle has failed under the Speaker's guidelines to clear a unanimous consent request, as was stated.
You can't even ask that question. According to our rules, which you can argue that the rules are stupid, you have to have members of every committee approve this, and you didn't even have everybody there. You didn't even have all the Republican leaders there, so they couldn't have approved this. There was no way to approve this. This was just a trick to trick dumb people, and guess what? You're the dumb people. Because all they have to do is say something, and you'll repeat it because you're dumb. I'm tired of you guys being fucking dumb, and I'm here for you. I'm here to help you not be fucking dumb every fucking day. Somebody said, like, we said it yesterday. I said, all of you would come in here today, and you would say this. I told you that you would all say this, and now I'm telling you that for the rest of the week, I'll be gone next week, so I'll miss it. But when you guys are in other people's shows, they're all going to talk about the redacted name of Virginia Giuffre. Because you're like Pavlov's dogs. They've trained you to just do what they want you to do and respond how they want you to respond. And nothing is more predictable than a dipshit fucking Republican coming into this chat every fucking day saying something that we predicted you were going to say yesterday. And you come in and you say it anyways, and we show you that we knew you were going to say it and it was predictable, and then you don't fucking care. Because Donald Trump is your Lord and Savior. You have tied yourselves entirely to him. And it's fucking embarrassing because you're adults. And this is just an old dude who shits his pants and can't complete sentences, and it thinks adapt and adopt are the same word, and was in bed with like the most notorious pedophile on earth. But you can't accept that. You can't just be like, I got duped. You're just gonna go to your grave with it. I'm going down with this ship. Me and all the other pedophiles, we're going down together. What a cool ship. Here's Tim Pool.
However, shortly after the release of these emails, not many people noticed the victim's name that was redacted was, in fact, Virginia Giuffre, who had already testified years ago that Trump never did anything wrong.
Wrong. Remember when we saw it? They said, were you ever with Trump and Epstein together? No. And this says the same thing. This email says the same thing she said. This email says Trump was alone with her. That's the same fucking answer. This email confirms what she said. But what it doesn't say is that Trump did nothing wrong. It confirms that Trump was alone with her without Epstein. So when she was asked, were you with Epstein and Trump together? And she said no, she was telling the truth. And it looks like Epstein was also telling the truth. This is confirmation unless you're a dumb motherfucker. And if you watch Tim Pool, there's a good chance you're a dumb motherfucker. But they're confirming it right in front of your eyes. And you're like, no, it's innocence. This is the innocent part. Don't be dumb. Being dumb sucks for you. It hurts you. It's not good for your mental health. But you're also being dumb in furtherance of protecting pedophiles. So you're a dumb, pedophile-enabling moron. Don't do that anymore. Just say, I don't like pedophiles, even if I voted for them. And if I find out that the guy I voted for is in bed with the pedophiles, I'm not going to like him anymore. Like, I'm getting the information from Tim Pool. You goddamn moron. S. Lee. L in the chat for S. Lee. You goddamn dipshit. This is Tim motherfucking Pool on Timcast. There's no CNN here. I'm playing your people's information. This is your people. How are you all this fucking dumb? All of you. He's broken all of you. Can't you guys adopt to new information?
So the question then becomes, why did Democrats choose to redact the name of an individual who had already testified Trump never did anything wrong?
Because that didn't happen.
It's because they know that Virginia Giuffre testified this, and by redacting the victim, no one knows who the victim.
So you redact the name and then release the unredacted version 30 minutes later? That was their big fucking plan? We caught him. They redacted it and then released the unredacted version. That's what that's the big conspiracy here. The same people who put out the redacted one put out the unredacted one. It's the same people.
Victim supposedly is, and it implies Trump did something wrong.
I'm screaming into the mic because I get very frustrated with how dumb some of you are. And I'm an emotional human being. And I'm sorry for screaming into the mic. I'll talk calmly, but it won't really matter, because if I talk calmly, then you guys will just tell me that I'm like a serial killer or something, and none of it's going to change the fact that you're all fucking morons.
In other words, they're trying to frame Donald Trump. Now, Democrats.
Yeah, they're framing him. For what? They're not even accusing him of anything. What are they framing him for? Get back to the outline here. Don't worry, there's more of Tim Pool. We're only showing you breakdowns from your side today. I don't even have people on the other side today. Just all your side. Now we're going to float some conspiracy theories. Now Tim's dick's getting hard. Could you imagine? I know it looks like Donald Trump was friends with Epstein, but what if?
Maybe he actually knew behind the scenes that Trump was asked by the FBI about Epstein, snitched on him, and the FBI said, what about other guys? And Trump was like, I'll give you everything. Could you imagine if it turns out that Trump has Mar-a-Lago bugged? So when powerful people come for meetings, he records it and sends it off to the feds. What would happen to Mar-a-Lago were that the case? I'm not saying it's true. I don't know for sure.
Actually, guys, maybe Donald Trump's a hero that's been an informant all along.
This guy also got paid by Russia to do propaganda. This guy also, after he got paid by Russia to do propaganda, got access to the White House press pool. I think he might also have a Pentagon access. Not sure.
Well, guys, have you ever thought about the fact that maybe this has just been a long con from Donald all along, that he was the ultimate informant?
Trump is deep. We're learning Trump is deep throat in many ways.
What I can say is this is a big distraction. And where we are going right now as a country, it is, demoralizing to see.
This is a distraction from what? From you guys fucking this whole thing up? And here we go. He kind of tells the truth here. Tim's going to cover his bases at the end here.
So yeah, he wants to cover it up. As if somehow that's me defending Trump. Well, it's because they want the narrative to be that Trump is a pedo. And I'm like, maybe, probably not. I mean, I feel like.
Yeah, maybe. That does kind of explain why he's been covering it up. That might explain why his entire presidency, he's been yelling at people not to release the Epstein files. Yeah, it might be. Probably not. Might be, though.
If they really had that evidence, they would have released it, not be doing these stupid schemes.
These aren't schemes. They subpoenaed the information. I don't remember the guy's name, but Ro Khanna actually talked about this, that Ro Khanna, nobody had thought to subpoena the estate. And it's important to remember that, like, that's where this stuff's coming from. I don't remember who in the chat said that the other day. I hadn't even thought of that. But these are coming from the estate, and nobody had thought to subpoena the estate until there was a lawyer on that I don't remember who he worked for, and Ro Khanna came on after him. I think it was on, it might have been on MSNBC. Might have been Mediasan. I can't remember who it was. But that's where they got the idea to subpoena the estate. O'Donnell. Was it Lawrence O'Donnell? Thank you. Yeah, it was on Lawrence O'Donnell. And so then they're like, oh, shit, we can subpoena the estate. Of course, the estate has all of these records. So they've been subpoenaing the state now, and the estate. And Republicans didn't want to do that. But they forced their hand. They forced a vote in the Oversight Committee. Now, remember, the Oversight Committee tried not to subpoena this. But Chip Roy sided with the Democrats and gave them the vote they needed to subpoena these. Republicans also tried to cover up. James Comer tried to cover this up too, but he lost. But since he's in charge of the oversight, that's why they're slow walking like this. That's why they're coming out so slowly. He's got other things to do. But they tried to stop this too. You can thank Chip Roy for making this happen.
I think there's a possibility. I don't know if it's a 10% or a 1%. So, yeah.
Yeah. Or 20 or 30. Yeah, maybe Trump is a pedophile. Maybe we should keep researching. Thanks, Tim Pool. We agree on that. Now, here's Tim Burchett. He's starting to cover already. Oh, what's up, Jen?
Hey.
Hey.
So, yeah, I mean, this is interesting. It is funny when people in the comments who are so upset about you showing information that their side has been supporting.
Even this trying to look. Democrats didn't have this information for 4 years. Did you just hear what I said? This is brand new information that nobody has had. This is from his estate. Nobody had this information for 4 years. Nobody sat on this information for 4 years. This is the first time we've had this information. Stop listening to Fox News tell you what to say. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, while you're updating the gift goal total, if you want to check and see if we've got, I think I dropped a couple of Venmos that came through. But like Jay mentioned earlier, it is Friendly Friday. So the last hour of this show, we typically bring on friends and do the things that conservatives hate and people say nice shit and all that kind of good stuff. So Friendly Friday is supposed to start in about an hour. So we're a little ways away from the gift goal. We want to try to get to that goal, especially since Jay's going to be gone next week. So if you guys could help us out, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chats, all that goes towards knocking out that remaining gift goal balance. So because it's our job, we do this each day. Each weekday from 8:30 to noon Pacific time. If you haven't subscribed to us already, please do so. Wherever you're watching, if you're a paid member, you can join us for member-only events. We had one Wednesday. Watch Newsies. We've got other things coming up, so if you guys like join us for that, if you're a paid member, you can join those events. If you disagree with RTP, you can actually come up and have a conversation. How you do that is, and when I say this, listen to my words. You don't have to pay, but the Venmo username is my Discord. If you send me a Discord message, I can bring you up and you can have a conversation. So my Discord username is Jen with 2 N's, Deb with 2 B's, the number 1. And if you send me a message, you can, if you disagree, you can come up and have a conversation. Check out the link tree in our bio. We've got, we're on most social media platforms. We've got merch, Jay's on Cameo, and we upload these episodes to Spotify. When I'm stressed, I like to seclude myself in a room full of saw feathers. I highly recommend it. Everybody needs some downtime.
Stupid. Amy said, my question is, why didn't DOJ or FBI already subpoena the estate? I don't know. That's a good question. Like I said, it seems like nobody had thought to subpoena the estate. So I don't know. Incompetence, maybe. Maybe they know that it's going to. I mean, I think that the most likely explanation for why this stuff hasn't come out is Israel. I think that and powerful people. And I think that no matter who's in office, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, there are a bunch of corrupt people, especially in the Department of Justice and the FBI and the CIA. I think that that's the most likely reason why it didn't come out during the Biden administration or the Trump administration. That would be my guess. I'm not going to. You wouldn't go back to Obama because this mostly happened under Trump. Jen said, "How did the snowman react when people made fun of his nose? He didn't care at all." That's good. Ty says DOJ is now saying the estate redacted files. Ty, Jen, will you look that up? I was trying to look for that while you were talking. Can't find it, but I'm not doubting it. I just did a quick search. Thank you, Alicia. Tommy's real mom said they think the emails are a hoax because they don't contain the word pizza or hot dog. Good point. Natalie said, yay, friendly Friday. Caffeined. Lamarche says, if it turns out one big, beautiful ballroom was Donald Trump's mouth. Jen says, happy freaking Friday. Super, my fan said, to be fair, it's criminal to get Monica's sloppy seconds. Jesus, sorry, that one got me good. Did I read this one? I think so, yeah. All right. Moving on. Is that Thursdays? There we go. Oh, yeah, here was Tim Burchett. So Tim Burchett's now going to run cover. He's been doing this. Tim Burchett is in Trump's pocket. So Tim Burchett now doesn't want you to believe anything that's coming out. He hasn't seen anything, but he wants to smear any information that came out before, because Tim Burchett's like you dipshits. He's already sold his soul to Donald Trump, and he's going to defend Donald no matter what.
Well, and I've said this many times. They've had this thing so long. Yeah, you know, it's been tampered with, I'm sure. And then also the things that are going to come out. I'm not an attorney. There is a legal term for this, but a lot of stuff that's going to come out has already been discussed. Yeah. Some of it in court of law, and then some of it's been disproven. But now you're going to get it all rehashed, and that, you know, she started talking about the pictures of Trump, a girl sitting on his lap. That has been discredited continuously. Yeah. It is the worst AI. It's like something.
Has that been discredited? I've never heard that was discredited, but it could be. I could have missed that. Does anybody know what he's talking about there? Are they saying it was like AI? What would be discredited? He didn't say that they were fake. He said discredited. What would be discredited? I don't know. I'm looking. Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, if you have the originals. They came out before AI? Yeah, I have no idea what he's talking about there.
I made with a People magazine. It's a fake showing a bunch of movie stars hanging out with me because I cut out the pictures out of People magazine and pasted it there.
Yeah, it's just amazing. The willingness to lie and
I will.
It's that kind of, yeah, we wouldn't be able to tell. None of us would be able to tell if they had just cut those out. Okay. Here's Jesse Waters, another one of Trump's lapdogs. He's going hard in the paint for Trump here, along with the rest of the five.
Ended. Out comes the Epstein files. And for like 2 hours last night, it captivated the lemmings in the media. We stand by and we just watch it collapse like Brian Stelter on a wicker chair. It's like, what, are you?
What collapsed? What collapsed in the story last night?
At all surprised by the timing of that?
No, obviously they had it, and they only released 3 emails at first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the Republicans were like, we're not going to play that game. We just dumped it all. And then you saw the context, and the context.
The Republicans didn't dump it all. It was the Oversight Committee, which is Republicans and Democrats. So, I mean, just the way they tell the story. They are so desperate for this not to look bad for Trump that they'll just openly lie.
Was he never did anything. It's a lot of innuendo, and they're going to smear them with that, just like they did with the Russia hoax. You hang this dark, foreboding cloud over the president's head, and everybody plays.
Yeah, the Russia hoax where 35 people were indicted and multiple members of Trump's team pled guilty to working with Russia. Yeah, big hoax. It was such a big hoax.
Guessing games, and all of a sudden you lose the House. It's not going to happen this time because now and online, we can go and expose the BS instantaneously.
They're just openly saying that before the information comes out, they've already decided what the answer is, and they're going to work for Donald Trump. This is not a news organization. They don't claim to be a news organization. Legally, they can't claim to be a news organization. We know that from their own lawyers, who, when they go to court, says, nobody would consider us news. Like, we're so fucking crazy. Like, it's so obvious that we're not a news organization that you can't sue us like a normal news organization because we're not a news organization. They're just openly here saying, we are running interference for Donald Trump. We don't have all the evidence yet, but we've already decided that he is innocent and we're going to run interference for him. I can't hear another one of you dipshits talk about CNN. I don't like CNN either. I think that they're performative, but not like this. This is just like open lap dogging. They've all pulled their pants down and they got their anuses exposed, and they thought it was the sun, but it's just Donald Trump's orange fucking face, and they're just aiming their rectums right at his face. Whatever you need, sir, we got you. It gets way worse with Jesse, by the way. He does a whole fucking segment on this. And again, it's going to be the same talking points that we've already seen. It's not going to be anything new. Oh, shit, this is the same one. Hold on. Sorry. This one. It's not going to be anything new. It's going to be exactly what Tim Pool and Benny Johnson said. For all of you who say, like, we repeat talking points, is it not weird to you that every person we're showing you is saying the exact same thing? Yeah, you guys live in an echo chamber. The echo chamber we're living in today is the right-wing echo chamber. That's all we're showing. We're just showing you guys what your people are saying.
So they're launching a smear campaign.
Oh, sorry. Corvette Girl Robinson, going to miss you all next week. A plane carrying Donald Trump made an emergency landing in New Orleans after alleged engine failure over the Gulf of Mexico. Turns out there was just a loud whine coming from the right wing. Evelyn said, so can we call this the real deep throat scandal? I think we should only call it the deep throat scandal. And by the way, I'm probably going to go live on TikTok while I'm in Mexico a couple of times. So I may see you guys.
And disguised as a bombshell, the Jeffrey Epstein emails. Congress is dumping thousands of documents, and Democrats are using them to frame.
No, Steve, I appreciate you saying that. I agree with you. The corruption's complete on the right and on the left. It's disgusting. We can disagree on policy and ideology, but we should all agree on both part corruption. Here's my problem, Steve. The way that we do that is by not saying what you're saying every time something comes up. Just acknowledge the corruption when it comes up. Stop with the scoreboard shit. Right? Like when Bob Mendez got caught openly taking bribes, I covered it. And I didn't cover it by saying Bob Mendez took bribes, but hey, look at all these Republicans. I just covered that one story. I agree with you, but like we don't get out of the duopoly shit if every time something happens on the right, we have to remind folks, it does happen on the left too. The problem that we have is that we won't, like, it is a duopoly. We can't get rid of corruption until we identify that the corruption is not the system itself. It's not the parties itself. It's the protection that we give to them by playing the both sidesism, right? Like, I think that most of the people on the Republican side of the aisle in elected office aren't doing this shit. But I also think that every one of them is afraid of Donald Trump. So we can't have this conversation. And I get your side. Like, if you're a moderate Republican and you agree that this is bad, that this looks bad for Trump, and that you want this to come out, I understand that in order to get that message across to your MAGA friends, you have to offer the olive branch of like, hey, just so you know, like, I know that there's some corruption on the left too. It happens with both sides. I get that, like, in a one-on-one conversation. Sometimes you have to talk to MAGA like that. I do it too. If you've watched me debate, sometimes I have to do that, just so that we can lay the ground that I'm not trying to be hyper partisan. By the way, this Epstein shit isn't fucking partisan. There is a Democrat president on the list and his wife in the files. Right? You can talk about Democratic donors like Reid Hoffman. He's all over these files. This isn't even partisan, but we can't even get to it because when these things come out, if it says Trump, suddenly you guys can't see those folks can't see the truth anymore. When they see that it's Reid Hoffman, oh, yeah. Of course Reid Hoffman was friends with Epstein. Of course. He was a rich, powerful person in New York. Oh, of course Peter Thiel was. He's a rich, powerful person. Of course the Clintons were. They were rich and powerful, and they were in New York. Donald Trump, no. He's the same as them. All these pictures, like I saw, there's a picture of Ghislaine Maxwell at Chelsea Clinton's wedding. The Trumps were there too. I don't know why we're shocked that Donald Trump, who ran in the wealthiest circles in the world, in the country, the same circles Epstein ran in, I don't know why you guys are surprised that he's in these files with everybody else that ran in those circles. Of course he's in these files, and of course there's Democrats. But the thing that we're not going to do, at least on this show, is when prominent Democrats come up, we're not going to poo-poo it and call it a hoax and a witch hunt. You guys, it's just impossible for some of you to ever see Donald Trump for what he is. He's in the files, and he's in the files, Jesus Christ, fucking a lot, man, a lot. And you guys are taking this part in the files of Virginia Giuffre, and you're saying he's exonerated. Fine. If you see that part and you think he's exonerated, I think that's silly. But then you've got to play that same game across the board when Jeffrey Epstein in his email says, Bill Clinton never came to my island. But then you'll be like, oh, Bill Clinton did go to the island. Oh, I don't believe it. You guys believe what you want to believe. Larry, I'm going to read all the released files. If you've noticed, Larry, I haven't gone over the files yet because I haven't read them. So and it's going to take some time. I've got a long plane flight on Monday. I'll read them, and maybe when I go live, we'll go through them. I'm just talking about the media reaction today. I'm not covering the files. I'm covering the media reaction today. And the reason I'm doing this is because they also haven't read everything. But their knee-jerk reaction is to come out here and claim that there is a conspiracy, that there's a hoax, and that this is all about Donald Trump, and that the only reason it's being talked about is because people don't like Trump. So I'm talking about media coverage today. But I agree with you, Larry. I do think we should read all the files, and I will. And until I do read all the files, you'll notice I'm not making a judgment on any of it. So let's be fair then, Larry. Or let's see if you can be fair, Larry. Do you think that this is fair coverage? Do you think what I'm showing you here is fair coverage from Republicans? And I'm showing you the most prominent ones. These aren't I'm fringe. Most people don't know who I am. If somebody was covering my coverage of this, it would be a fair criticism like, well, does he really have that much of an impact? I'm covering your most impactful people, and they're being blatantly dishonest about this in an attempt to cover for Trump. Do you see that, Larry? At least on your side, do you at least see that these folks are not trying to be honest here? That they're it's clear that they have a narrative and that they have a job, and their job is to make Trump look innocent? I just want just out of fairness, Larry, and I appreciate you being here every day. I like that there's people here on the right, and especially the ones that show up every day. But is that fair for me, Larry, to say that these folks are doing exactly what you just accused me of, and they're being pretty dishonest here?
Trump. But we've been combing through them and can't find anything nailing Trump. Even Axios says the emails contained no real smoking gun.
Nobody's claiming a smoking gun. We just want to read the files. So please stop lying about them. We're not the ones that are making this all about Trump. Again, I'm only showing you right-wing coverage, and all they're talking about is Trump. But their claim is all the left can talk about is Trump. Well, seems like it's you. Seems like it's you guys that only want to talk about Trump.
The files do show Epstein's deep ties to liberals. like anti-Trump author Michael Wolff. He colluded with Epstein on how to blackmail Trump. Wolff told Epstein in 2015, if you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency.
I don't know if somebody on Jesse Waters' staff can explain what blackmail is, but blackmail is not letting people just talk and out themselves. That's not blackmail. Blackmail is when you have information about somebody and you say, I'm going to release this information if you don't do this for me. That's not blackmail. But now, by the way, Michael Wolff is a sick fuck. Michael Wolff's not a good guy in this. The fact that Michael Wolff was openly like colluding with Epstein is a big story here. And I've said all along, every time I've ever shown a clip of Michael Wolff, I've been sure to preface it that this guy has been caught telling the truth. He's also been caught lying a lot. And I think Michael Wolff, ironically, is one of the reasons that Republicans feel like that people lie about Donald Trump, because Michael Wolff has actually been caught lying about Trump multiple times, or at the very least, saying things that he had no evidence of. Michael Wolff is a dog shit human being. I don't care. I don't care what, I know he's a journalist, and I know that his defense is, oh, I was trying to get this story, and sometimes that's what journalists do. I'm sorry. If I'm doing a story, I'm not sitting down and playing patty cake with a pedophile. I'm not open, talking about how do we get our messaging across with a pedophile. Michael Wolff can suck my balls. This guy sucks. Jesse Waters is right on this. He's not a hero, and if there's anybody that starts saying he's a hero, I will disagree with them. But this isn't blackmail. This is them saying that this was their plan. Because I think what Epstein, from what I've read, what it seems like is that Epstein was afraid of Trump. Trump has real power, obviously. If Epstein has dirt on Trump and Trump's the president, obviously Epstein's going to be afraid of that. And then let's also remember that Epstein died while Trump was president, and they covered that up. So if it's and there is certainly a scenario, and in fact, a likely scenario, that the CIA or the FBI killed Jeffrey Epstein and that Trump didn't know about it. Maybe Trump did know about it. But it's not like this. It wouldn't be the first time the CIA or the FBI did an assassination without the knowledge of the president. So that story is at least possible. Trump knew, maybe he did, but we can't say that, right? Let's be fair. If I'm going to rip these Republicans, let's also be fair. We don't know if Trump knew or not. He could have, but maybe he didn't. Israel certainly could be an option there. And Israel has infiltrated the FBI and the CIA. That certainly would make sense. So I think what we're seeing here, if I had to guess, and this is a guess, is that Epstein's working with Wolff, and they're trying to figure out a way. Epstein's trying to get out of trouble. And Epstein's trying to figure out how he can leverage the information he has on Donald Trump to get out of trouble. That's what it seems like to me. And Wolff is helping him, and Wolff says he's helping him for the story, whatever. I don't trust Michael Wolff at all. So I don't, maybe he just thinks it's fun. Maybe it was for the story. I don't know. But what they're talking about is something that's well known with Donald Trump. Let him talk. Bring up something because he'll lie about it. And if you have proof, bring it up first, then he'll lie, then bring out the proof. We've seen this pattern over and over and over again. Trump is a very predictable person. So that's what it looks like to me. But Jesse Waters is a dog shit journalist and a Trump lapdog. So he's going to tell his viewers very unfairly that this is them doing blackmail. That's not blackmail.
Why is Wolff giving a pedophile PR advice and coaching him to take down the president? That wasn't the only writer Epstein colluded with. A New York Times reporter gave Epstein a heads up that a former cop was investigating him for a book. By the way, he's not going to cover this, so I'll cover it. There was another prominent person who sat down with Epstein. Another prominent journalist who sat down with Epstein. He even said, you know who I was most afraid of? You were who I was most afraid of, Epstein. When Trump was running and we were trying to get him elected, the person I was most afraid of with you. And Jeffrey Epstein said, that's who you should have been most afraid of. And that's Steve Bannon.
And Steve Bannon was working for Trump at this time. And Steve Bannon was his key advisor. Steve Bannon is largely responsible for Trump winning. Steve Bannon is also connected to the Russiagate stuff through Cambridge Analytica. Waters isn't going to talk about that. But there were people inside of Trump's own organization. And Bannon has tapes of this that he's never released. Bannon sat down for a filmed interview with Jeffrey Epstein, and he hasn't released it. Now, he says he's going to release it sometime next year. We'll see. But interesting enough, just to point out here, Jesse Waters isn't going to talk about Steve Bannon because Jesse Waters wants to frame this as a left-wing hoax. I think it's far more likely that this is a CIA or some sort of like intelligence operation, far more than like a left-wing hoax. Like as somebody that's on the left and who is consistently blown away at how ineffective and uncoordinated the left is, they can't pull off a hoax. They're just not. They're not good enough at it. They can't come together. They're so nearsighted. You would see right through it. They can't pull this off. This is what's happened with Epstein was certainly coordinated by powerful, intelligent people with the ability to manipulate information.
Porter was pushed out of the company after they found he asked Epstein for a $30,000 donation. Larry Summers, who worked for Bill Clinton and Obama, was also pen pals with Epstein.
True. Raina said, for what bees make milk instead of honey? Boobies. That's soft.
He was asking him for tips on women. Who goes to Jeffrey Epstein for dating advice?
Well, this would be a good time, Jesse Waters, to point out that Jeffrey Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. And that Trump and Epstein shared common girlfriends. This would be a good time to throw that in if you weren't a fucking hack. This would be a good time to tell that whole story. I agree with you. What kind of psycho, Larry Summers, goes to Jeffrey Epstein for dating advice? Somebody who's sick, like Larry Summers. And now Larry Summers also on the shit list. But who else did that? Donald Trump. I'm just asking these journalists to be fair. He's only telling half the story, and half of his story is correct. But to not throw in the other half is incredibly dishonest.
Epstein didn't just have ties to the Democrats and the media. He had foreign connections. Before Trump met Putin in 2018, Epstein was pitched.
Fox News. Bat boy found in cave. Have a great vacation, says Lee. Mike Wolf said Trump's in a bad spot. Can't pardon Maxwell now, but if he doesn't, she'll likely leak everything. Yeah, I don't know how much longer he's going to live. It's going to be tough. He's broken up. Ty said, Jen, look up Todd Blanche's post from yesterday about the redacted files. Also, Michael Wolff went live yesterday and said there's a lot more files. All right. Thank you.
Pitching himself to the Kremlin, saying he could give Russia insight on Trump, which is weird because if the Kremlin was controlling Trump like the Democrats accused him, why did they need insight? He wasn't just any old rich American. He was well connected to top players all over the world, from Israel to Saudi Arabia. And it wasn't a secret.
To Mar-a-Lago, to Trump Tower. See what I mean here? Like, just put it all together. Don't tell some of the story. Just tell the whole thing. Honestly, if you're watching Fox News today, if you're watching this, I hope this is eye-opening for some of you. I hope it's eye-opening that we're willing to tell the whole story over here. And they're not.
Epstein went to Clinton's White House 17 times. And Slick Willie was a frequent flyer on the so-called Lolita Express.
Who else was a frequent flyer on the so-called Lolita Express? Donald Trump. Just put it in there. Just please tell the whole story, please. Why? Why are you leaving it? Like all these things they're saying Trump also did. I agree. Fuck Bill Clinton. I agree. Fuck Reid Hoffman. I agree. Fuck Larry Summers. I agree. Fuck Michael Wolff. Why is it only fuck those people, though, and not Donald Trump? Mary said, please check in next week. Have a great vacation. Thank you. Thanks, Lee, also.
Clinton and Epstein seemed like pals. But when it comes to Trump, Jeffrey had TDS. I have met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump. Not one decent cell in his body. Trump should wear that like a badge of honor. The slimiest guy in the world. Hating you is a good thing. Epstein.
Well, I didn't say that he hated him. I think he liked him. What do you say? What do you say there? Mess of very bad people, none as bad as Trump. Not one decent cell in his body. They loved that they were bad. He liked Donald Trump. He said it repeatedly. Yeah, TDS.
He had TDS.
He was his friend. There's now reporting, which is unconfirmed, so we're not going to. I'm not going to say that it's confirmed, but I do think it's worth putting out there that there is some reporting now that while Trump was president, that he was communicating with Epstein. We'll see if those files come out. But now that's the reporting that's coming out. There's some reference, at least, that during Thanksgiving, Trump was around. Now, I think that the people who read that email and said that when Epstein was that Epstein was down in, where do they live? In Palm Beach, and they said, who else is around? And he said, Trump. I think that I read it as, that's also, like, he's also in Palm Beach. I didn't read it as they were having Thanksgiving together, but you could read it that way. We'll see how that comes out, but that's what some people are saying. At the very least, Epstein was dropping that name. He didn't seem to have a problem dropping Trump's name. And when he said Trump, the other guy didn't seem to have a problem or think that it was weird. It is strange to say, like, who else is around when you're down in Palm, and he just says Trump, but he's just talking about, like, who was in Palm Beach at that time. I don't know.
Badge of honor. The slimiest guy in the world. Hating you is a good thing. Epstein even admitted Trump, quote, never got a massage. The same author Epstein colluded with even said this.
Yeah, I actually think that there was, so we'll have to fact check this. I'm pretty sure in Stormy Daniels' book or Karen McDougal's book, there was like a reference to Trump being uncomfortable, like being fully naked, and that he didn't like massages. I think it's in one of their books. And I think even specifically like his feet or something about that. I mean, this guy is very, very thin-skinned. He's an egomaniac. I'm sure he doesn't look good with his shirt off, so that could make sense. But let's see if the files come out, but tell the whole story.
Epstein believed that it was Trump who first informed the police about what was going on at Epstein's house. And from that point on, they were nothing but bitter enemies.
So Trump.
Show the whole fucking clip, please. This is why I hate Fox News. And this is just off the top of my head because we've been watching this forever. The rest of that clip, though, by the way, is that Trump was upset at Epstein. They had this dispute about property. And Trump wound up buying the property, and he and Epstein both wanted it. And Epstein knew that Trump didn't have the money for it. And then Trump randomly just gets a bunch of money from a Russian oligarch to buy the property. And it's alleged that Jeffrey Epstein kind of let that slip to city officials that he had taken this money from a foreign government. And then that Trump then tried to rat out. And then that's why Epstein thought that Trump maybe ratted him out. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. Trump's not named as an informant anywhere. There's in all of Epstein's cases, there's no evidence that Trump did rat on him, but Epstein did at one point say that because he thought it was Trump being vindictive because Epstein had told people that Trump didn't have the money and he had to get it from a Russian oligarch. But again, Jesse Waters isn't going to tell you that whole story. Could that mean that Trump ratted out on him or ratted him out? Sure, it could. But why not tell the whole story, Fox News?
Trump dropped a dime on Epstein, but Democrats say they're best buds? And that Biden and Obama's DOJ had proof Trump was compromised, but waited 3 elections to keep it a secret?
Nobody said that. What do you mean Obama? Obama wouldn't have that. Obama wouldn't have had, like, this all happened in Florida. There was a state investigation. And then in New York. And then Trump was president when he got thrown in jail, right? We'll see if Obama's in the emails. I bet he's not.
They arrested Trump over bookkeeping and want us to believe they had real dirt and didn't use it.
The Epstein files were in existence and free to have been opened during the Biden administration.
No, they weren't. It was an open investigation, and they were sealed. And these aren't those files. Stephen A. Smith.
You using Stephen A? Yeah, it's not true. But you're going to use Stephen A. Smith? The ESPN guy, straight shooter, Stephen A. Smith? How was my Stephen A. Smith impression? Was it decent? I've been working on it.
You were there for 4 years. How come you didn't open it as a Democratic Party then?
Why didn't the Republicans try and open it? Same thing, right? This is a nothing burger. But probably, if they did know about it, probably the same reason nobody else did it. Because it was all their friends that were on the Epstein list, in the Epstein files. Also, we knew a lot of this stuff. Like, we already knew that Trump had been accused by these women, and none of you cared. Like, you guys elected him after he was found civilly liable for sexual abuse. You elected him after you saw, and you probably missed it, but the testimony of Katie Johnson. 30 plus women have accused Donald Trump of sexual assault, and you guys elected him anyway. So, like, this stuff has come out. You just didn't fucking care about it. All of this information that he's talking about, like, it came out during the election. You guys just didn't fucking care. Hey, you're going to be showing clips of me. I want some kickback. You got to go through Fox News. I'm showing their broadcast. You got to get it back. Is he on Fox News? He might be. Is he funded by Fox now?
What am I missing?
Ghislaine Maxwell said Trump did nothing wrong. So have Epstein's victims and Epstein's lawyer.
Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, well, just barely. You were like, if Epstein thinks you're a bad guy, you wear that as a badge of honor. But if Maxwell says you did nothing wrong, then that must be true.
And none of these emails implicate Trump, so we're back to square one.
Well, I think the one that says he was alone with Virginia Giuffre for hours at a time, I think that implicates him. I don't know of a good reason that Trump would be alone with Virginia Giuffre. Why would a grown man be alone with a teenager for hours at a time? That's not good. That at least implicates him of being fucking weird.
Is playing games, holding fake votes to drop more files. But that's not going to happen because it's up to a judge, and they won't release grand jury testimony. This is now looking...
Yeah, the grand jury testimony is just really not that important. For any of you Republicans here, I don't know if you know this because they don't tell you. The grand jury testimony is just videos of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell lying over and over and over again. That grand jury testimony was used in the court cases, and it was them lying about not committing crimes, and Jeffrey Epstein mostly pleading the fifth. The evidence that was provided at trial is what we want. The evidence that actually got them convicted is what we want, and that's what can be released. This grand jury testimony, again, it's just a distraction. It's the same. I mean, you can watch grand jury testimony of Donald Trump testifying too, and he just said, "I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth." You want to watch grand jury testimony of Jeffrey Epstein for 4 hours saying, "I plead the fifth"? What's that going to convince you of? That's just and there's special rules for releasing that, and they don't really have the ability. They've asked for it, and they I don't remember exactly what the rules are, but I remember the judge was basically saying you know what the rules are, you know that the burden that you have to provide so that we'll release these, and you didn't give us that, so we can't even consider this motion. But it's not that important.
More and more like a ploy to divide Republicans and smear the president. For a party that claims to care about affordability, they sure waste a lot of time on old emails. Primetime wants to get to the bottom of the
Q says you hit that bitch ass Smith cadence on the second attempt. Thank you.
Epstein saga more than anybody. We've been covering the story for years. But the story isn't about Trump. It's about foreign intelligence, blackmail, and cover-ups.
Yeah.
Christopher Rufo is a senior fellow.
All right, we're going to skip it with Rufo. I just want to show you that they're not going to tell the truth there. You can go watch Rufo. He kind of says the same thing. We're not going to add new evidence. But then I want to show you Megyn Kelly, which I had such high hopes for Megyn Kelly. I don't know if I've told you guys this before, but when Trump got elected the first time, she got ran out from the right, and she went to NBC. And part of it was because she asked Trump a tough question, and Trump's like, she's having her period, and it's coming out of her eyes, so she asked me a tough question. It was like one of the most insane things I've ever seen a president say. And then the whole right turned on her, and she went to NBC, and then she sucked at NBC, so she lost her job at NBC, and then she just like changed all of her opinions, and now she's here. But I want you to pay attention to how Megyn Kelly comes to her conclusions. This is fucked. This is just it fucked me up. I did think that she was like a biased but serious journalist. Nobody should trust her ever again ever, ever, ever after hearing this.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything.
Don't trust this streamer. He took money from Reagan. If that's an old joke, that's actually pretty good. Fuck you for that. That's a pretty good joke.
Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there.
He's a convicted pedophile. Well, I know that he's been convicted, but this person doesn't think so.
For a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls.
That's not barely legal. 15 is not legal. Republicans, you may need a reminder for this because it seems to be a lot of people on your side of the aisle that don't understand this. The age of consent is not 15. This is your side. Remember you guys that are like, yeah, you guys are coming after our kids. You guys are sick because you allow trans people to exist. Excuse the fuck out of me. We had that guy on Dean's Live the other day being like, what's wrong with abusing children? And now she's like, he liked the barely legal types, the 15-year-olds. She has a 15-year-old? Jesus Christ.
And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby. And that
is crazy. Where do the Republicans go? We're sick? Like we're sick, right?
what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn. Now they call it child sexual abuse material.
Why did you say that? Why did you just say those words? Dude, what the fuck was that? You don't ask for forgiveness. Don't say those words, you sick fuck. They did not used to call it that. That's what you call it. Why did you say that with a microphone and a camera?
On his computer, that for the first time I thought, oh no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters.
Or anything else.
You don't, he was convicted. Why did you listen to your friend for years say that he wasn't? And then Pam Bondi's like, well, actually there's videos. You're like, now I'm starting to second guess that. He got convicted. And then Ghislaine got convicted too. These are your journalists, right-wingers. Like, you guys are being exposed right now. Very exposed for being a bunch of sick fucks. Your side of the aisle, these journalists on your side of the aisle, they're sick fucks. And they hide shit from you. Don't, like, who were we just talking about? Fuentes. Remember Fuentes? He covered for Ali Alexander. Ali Alexander was big in the first Trump election. And everybody, all these right-wingers that worked with Ali Alexander knew that he was sexually abusing like 14 and 15-year-old kids. They knew that he was a predator. Nick Fuentes was asked, like, when are you going to do something? He's like, I don't know, when he gets to like 50. When he gets to like 50 kids. You guys ran cover for him. You're running. Matt Gaetz still exists on your side. And I'm going to show you some Matt Gaetz shit here in a minute. We've had to hear about this shit for so long. We had to deal with Pizzagate. You guys accused us of, because we accept trans people as human beings, we had to be accused of being child abusers. And then Jesus fucking Christ, like your president gets accused of it. And all of a sudden you're like, yeah, is it really so bad? You know what I mean? Is 15? We used to have kids when we were 15. Was it really bad? Suddenly you guys are like apologists? It's crazy.
More. Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's hilarious. How about the Zionists laughing at sexual abuse? Yeah. I guess you did. You remember that Zionist that was over here in Las Vegas that was trying to abuse kids, got caught in a sex raid? And then this administration, all you guys too, they just sent him back to Israel where he's not going to be charged with anything, and none of you motherfuckers said a thing? Not one of you? Not a word. You guys literally covered up, you facilitated and covered up a sex criminal in Las Vegas because he worked, I don't even remember what his role is in the Israeli government. And you got him the fuck out real quick, protected him. You are officially and forever the party that protects pedophiles.
I don't know what's true about him, but
Sorry, Dave said I'm extremely triggered right now. Sorry, I should have said trigger warning. My bad on that. Dragon Wizard said, next member event, we watch the grand jury vid and drink every time someone pleads the fifth. Yeah. You can be hammered.
Have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10. I was under 14 when I first came within his purview.
What point are you trying to make? What the fuck are you saying? Why are you saying any of this? What point could you possibly be trying to make right now? Well, none of them were under 14. All right. What? And then what if there is somebody that's 13? You're like, well, I was only one. What the fuck is she trying to say here?
You can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference. Yeah. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. Yeah. You know, it's just whatever. I
have a 5-year-old. I don't think I would be less angry if she was 15 and somebody abused her. Like, it's not less traumatic. I think the reality is probably that you're in less danger when you're 5. But what are you saying to a 15? Like, what are you doing here? I had trying to see if this. Yeah, I think it's okay. I had a basketball coach in high school. He got fired my sophomore year. We got a new basketball coach, and there was like these rumors that he had come from a small school and he'd got caught up with a cheerleader, and it was this, just everybody knew it. All the parents knew it, other teachers knew it, all the students knew it, all the players knew it. I knew it. And because everybody's so accepting, like, I loved this dude. Like, he was so good to me. He was like my favorite teacher. And everybody knew it. And he just taught there. And then maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I ran into a girl that I had dated in high school, and then a friend of mine, they were best friends. And they told me that, like, all the girls at the school, it was just like common knowledge that if, like, in his class, they just didn't show up. And then they just like let him touch their boobs and he would give them an A. And did I say I knew it? Sorry. And everybody knew. And I think that's what we're seeing here in a Republican, conservative, deeply Christian area. There's just this problem where I think she's getting there, that once girls are going through puberty, they're not exactly off limits. A 5-year-old's off limits, but like a 15-year-old's not, like there's some gray area there. That's what's so fucking sick about this. And nobody batted an eye. They're laughing about it. Drew, I think everybody has that one teacher that's known for that. Yeah, maybe. I've thought about it over and over as a kid. There was another guy that was that lived in my neighborhood, and he was a member of our church, and he had been I think, I don't know, not convicted, caught though, abusing his own kid. He never went to jail. And we saw him, and we were taught to like respect him. And he was at church every Sunday. He was a music teacher, and everybody just like acted like it was no big deal. And I do think that's a problem in Christian cultures, in religious cultures, because when the religion and your faith comes first, and all sins can be forgiven, you get stuck dealing with people like that. You're like, well, forgiveness, right? And so then you start doing shit like this, where you're like, well, yeah, he's a bad guy, but it could have been a 5-year-old. A lot of you said this. A lot of you said this in the chat, and I didn't mention it. But yeah, it looks like they're making a soft landing. It looks like they're trying to create a soft landing for something. All these folks, they're briefed by the president. They're briefed by his team. This is everything that they have ever accused the left of, as far as being a propaganda arm and working with administrations, which people on the left have definitely done. It's magnified times 1 trillion, and it's being exposed in real time right now, where all of these folks they're just Trump. They're just Trump loyalists, and they have to do this. And a lot of them have just sold their souls, and now not only do they have to do it, they're happy to do it. It doesn't make them uncomfortable to come out here and soften pedophilia. And I know there's a different term for it if you're over 14. I don't care. I'm not going to use a different term to try and soften it myself. Fix your YouTube feed. You can't listen to it with the screen off. That's a YouTube thing. I think you have to have YouTube Premium to do that, Anthony. I'm pretty sure. That's not our feed. I think I'm pretty sure, you guys can check, but I think you have to have YouTube Premium to shut off the screen and listen to it. Fucking Google, man. They want you to pay for all that stuff. That's why I have YouTube Premium, so I could do that exact thing. That sucks. Sorry. I'll put in a note with them, but let's keep going. It was alarming that it was 2 women. I think that's what fucked me up the most. And as somebody, like, admittedly, I had some respect for Megyn Kelly. I read her book. I thought her book was really good after she left, and it was really transparent. And she had like these what felt like really honest moments, kind of the stuff that I think a lot of you are wary of. Just one sec, Jen. When we bring somebody over from the right, but it was like a kind of a come to Jesus and an understanding of like, I held these views because of where I was, but now that I'm away from it, my eyes are open. There was like a special she did on NBC where she talked about acceptance and loving trans children, and I think there was like 4 or 5 trans children that she brought on, and she did a whole special about this, and she talked openly about how she had been indoctrinated not to accept those people, but like, these are just regular people and we need to accept them like we accept everybody else. They should be part of the culture. And then she lost her job there and goes right back. That's grifter. What's up, Jen?
Okay, I'm just checking in for...
Let me read a couple of these real quick. FOD said, it's not like they were 5 very gross people. Jeremy said, have fun in Mexico. Don't drink the agua. Good point. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, if you want to update the total, well, getting these announcements. I think we're close to Friendly Friday. We typically start around an hour before the show ends. We've got a hard stop today at noon Pacific. So we want to knock out the rest of the gift goal before we can get to Friendly Friday. So if you guys can help us do that, that would be awesome. If you haven't subscribed to us already, please do so. You can, if you're a paying member on any of the channels where you're watching, we do member-only events. So if you'd like to join us for those, make sure you're a paid member. Jay's going to be gone next week, so if you just want to remind everybody that, so there won't be a show next week. Jay might pop in here and there, he mentioned, but we don't have a schedule for that. If I don't know if we have time for opposition, but if you guys disagree with RTB, you can come on and talk to him. How you do that is you message me on Discord. My Discord username is the same as the Venmo username. So Jen with 2 N's, Deb with 2 B's, and then the number 1. Check out the link tree in the bio. We're on most streaming platforms. We've got merch days on Cameo, and we upload these episodes to Spotify. There was a barn that had a rodent problem.
You say a rodent problem?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So they got a cat and named it Nuclear Bomb. He's a weapon of mass destruction.
That's good. Ty said, did you see Trump's new Truth Social post ordering the DOJ to investigate? If so, wouldn't that mean Epstein files can't be released? I don't know. Now the Democrats are using the Epstein hoax involving Democrats, not Republicans, to try and deflect from their disastrous shutdown and all of their other failures. I'll be asking Pam Bondi, the Department of Justice, together with our great patriots at the FBI, to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, J.P. Morgan Chase, and many other people and institutions to determine what was going on with them and him. This is another Russia scam with all arrows pointing to the Democrats. Records show that these men and many others spent large portions of their life with Epstein and on his island. Can you imagine, like, if Larry Summers put this out and Larry Summers was like, everybody's trying to frame me. I'm calling on the FBI to investigate Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Reid Hoffman, J.P. Morgan Chase, and many other people and institutions to determine on what was going on with them and him. This is a scam. Like, he just leaves himself out. Can you imagine if any of these people just sent out the same tweet, but they left themselves out? I don't know. Somebody, I'll have to look into that. I don't know that would necessarily prevent them. Yeah, I mean, it would give them an out. I don't know that legally it would prevent them from releasing the files, but what they would say is like, oh, this is an ongoing investigation. We're not going to release these files because it's an ongoing investigation. And MAGA's desperate not to talk about this, so MAGA would go along with it. It gives MAGA an out so that I don't think you can stop the subpoenas from the Epstein estate, but it does sound like that. It does sound like that's what he's trying to do. Drew, calling people out could get them to talk about him if there's anything in there. Yeah, but if Reid Hoffman comes out, just think of how this plays, Drew. Trump is predictable, and so are Republicans. If let's say that Trump starts this investigation and they start investigating Reid Hoffman and they find some dirt on Reid Hoffman. Reid Hoffman's going to come out and be like, oh, well, I was at that party with Donald Trump. And Trump will go, he's a liar. He just has Trump derangement syndrome. He's trying to put it on me because he's guilty. And all of MAGA will go, yeah, he's just saying that now because he got caught and he's trying to loop Trump in with it. Right? Like that's how they'll play it. I think you know that's correct. And I think you might go with it too. Didn't Bondi call it closed? Yeah, I think she did, but now they're reopening it because now what Trump's going to do is try and make it like maybe they'll make it part of that whole. Remember how they're supposed to? They're doing that RICO case where like all of us Dems that are actually Antifa. They might just loop it in with that. Yeah. Libs folded on shutdown now. It's all you can't even spell Epstein. Stick, get it together, man. Talk about this, Stick. Stick, you're not allowed to talk about Democrats today. You're only allowed to talk about Epstein and what I'm showing you today. Mods, anything Stick says that isn't related to what we're talking about today gets muted. Stick, you're welcome to stay here all day, but we're not doing whataboutism with you today. We got to gentle parent you into reality. Let's get to Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro knows where his bread is buttered. Here's the Ben Shapiro spin. Now he's a little better. He's a little better than Jesse Waters. He's a little better than Tim Pool. He's a lot better than Benny Johnson.
Democrats and some rogue Republicans who do not like Trump and want to hurt his administration, they are joining forces in order to try and drive down his approval ratings with
Chip Roy and Nancy Mace and Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene. They're all banding together to try and bring down Trump now. Chip Roy. They just all hate him. FDJT said possibly everything with Trump's name on it would be free game because he isn't named in the investigation.
The suggestion, unevidenced, that Donald Trump engaged in illegal activities with Jeffrey Epstein. And that's the reason why Trump doesn't want these documents released.
Nobody's making that claim. Again, this is why are all Republicans lying about this? Show me the Democrat who is saying that Donald Trump did anything with children. What we're claiming about Donald Trump is that he's hiding them. He's refusing to release the files, and that's true.
Now, again, there could be nefarious reasons why Trump doesn't want the documents released. Could be that there's something in there that he knows is bad or embarrassing for him or embarrassing to a friend. Maybe that's the reason. Okay, but you have provided zero evidence. Again, there are tens of thousands of documents here. You have provided zero evidence to the effect that Donald Trump did anything illegal here.
True, but he's also not being accused. And this is just like Russia, like the Russia hoax. Nobody accused Donald Trump of anything in the Russia investigation either. The investigation was into his campaign, and it was any and all connections between the Trump campaign and Russia. And multiple people from his campaign got caught and pled guilty to working with Russia. But Donald Trump said, it's all about me, therefore it's a hoax. But if you go read the documents, if you go read what Mueller was charged to do, it was any and all connections between the Trump campaign and Russia. But they always lie about that and turn Donald Trump into the victim. Nobody has said this. Not one Democrat investigating this has said that they're accusing Donald Trump. They've gone out of their way to not say that. But yeah, good point, Katie Johnson. I'm just talking about the Democrats, though. We're talking politically. The Democrats are saying this. Katie Johnson has accused Donald Trump of something illegal.
And in fact, you've provided some evidence that he and Epstein had a falling out. And yet somehow this was the big headline yesterday. The big headline. Epstein, by the way, was trying to find any way that he could to basically monetize his one-time relationship with Trump. Democrat.
Monetize? I think he was trying to get out of jail and then he got murdered. Probably. Allegedly. Maybe. Mr. Morley said, can I buy you a beer for your halls next week? Yeah, of course. Thank you very much. All right. Now I'm going to show you JD Vance. If you thought Donald Trump's stuttering interview was bad, JD Vance, somebody's got to check on JD Vance. This is tough. JD Vance is really struggling here.
On the Epstein list for the simple reason that there is no Epstein list, except for the list we found that has Democrat names on it. And the Democrats sat on that information because it was only their names, but also they made it up. Biden made up the list but sat on it. He sat on it, and Obama did not release the list, and Trump doesn't want to release the list to protect the victims. And the only victim here is Donald Trump. He is the victim of a witch hunt. So he appears on the list of victims. But Trump good. Trump good, Bill Clinton ungood. Double plus ungood. 36 trips to Epstein Island, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, wrong think. Bill Clinton, sex crime. Trump, no sex crime. Good sex only. Trump, double plus good. Telescreen, prol feed, duck speak. Duck speak on prol feed. Prol feed say, Bill Clinton, bad. Trump, good. Bill Clinton, unperson. Bill Clinton, joy camp. Bellyfield. Bellyfield, joy camp. All people, not good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Donald Trump does.
I watched it like 20 times this morning. I watched it sitting on the toilet. My legs went numb. The eyeliner, the slow zoom. Mwah! It's chef's kiss. That was so good. JD talks exactly like that. Get the fuck out of here. That's exactly how JD talks. He says JD can talk for an hour straight and literally say nothing. It's just like, if you ever listen to what he's actually saying, oh, you're not saying anything, are you, bud? I'm going to show this video from Noel Castler. I haven't done much Noel Castler in a long time. Noel Castler's a comedian. He used to work on The Apprentice. He was the first one to kind of bring it to our attention that Donald Trump has always been a functioning drug addict. He claims he doesn't drink, which is allegedly true. I don't think anybody's ever brought up that he drinks, but I mean, he clearly likes the nose candy. Here's what Noel Castler said. And the tweet on this was, has anybody ever noticed that Trump doesn't even threaten to sue Noel Castler? Noel Castler says this all the time, and Trump won't even say his name. Because if he sues Noel Castler, Discovery comes out, and he doesn't want that.
I told him the real deal about Trump that people didn't know. He was an open drug addict. Everyone knew it. None of this stuff was a secret. You know, that he was doing coke on shows 20 years ago when we'd do, you know, the VH1 Fashion Awards, and I used to do the beauty pageants with him in the 90s. You know, he was an open drug user, open sexual assaulter, and this stuff was just kind of accepted.
And it's Heather said, have a drink on me next week. We'll miss you. Thanks, Heather.
It's not you heard this firsthand. It's you saw this with your own eyes.
Absolutely. That's when most of the drug use occurred on The Apprentice, when he had to read cue cards. He'd get really nervous, so he'd go in the bathroom, crush up Adderall. He'd come back to set. There'd be white chunks flying out of his nose, white powder under his nose. He's doing the same thing as a candidate and as a president. You know, it gives him a feeling of being in control. But he's clearly an addict. If you know anything about addiction, untreated addiction as a president is the worst thing you could have. So, yeah, he was obviously high that night. It was that was the same person we saw in The Apprentice. And I remember watching that and like, yep, he's high. And it was probably wasn't just Adderall. You know, he did coke, he did meth, he had drug dealers coming to the after parties selling it to him. Adderall is his maintenance high. It's what he does during the day. When he gets down to Mar-a-Lago.
I just want to point out again, like I don't know if anybody's mouth has ever looked more like an anus. We started today's show talking about sunbathing your anus, and now just when you get a steel shot and a close up, that's just a balloon knot. That's tough.
Lago and these other places, he gets into it a little harder. He also uses benzodiazepine, Valium and stuff to come down when he hits it hard. So when you see him slurring and stuff, that's from the benzos. And, the things I saw, he didn't even hide. So many other people saw this stuff. But imagine what the people are seeing right now in the White House. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We got him for an hour a day on The Apprentice, Celebrity Apprentice, because he barely works. That's the other thing. The guy is unmanageable. You know what I mean? He's not a functioning human being. He barely works. That
was part of Mick Mulvaney's interview. We'll just leave it there. Is that he was like, I don't remember what the tweet was, but they're like, what about this tweet? He sent out this tweet. It was crazy. And Mick Mulvaney's like, what time was it at? And he's like, if it was between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, then he was working. And then that means that there were people around him that helped him with the tweet. But if it wasn't between 10 and 2, it was Donald Trump watching TV and tweeting. Like, he really is. And everything they say about Donald Trump when they worship him, they're all lies. This thing that they're like, oh, he never stops working. Nobody watches more TV than Donald Trump. If you followed his Twitter back in the day, or if you follow his True Social now, you can figure out what he's watching. He's just always watching TV and talking shit to people who are like talking about him on TV. Nobody cares more about his perception than Donald Trump. He's not a hard worker. Larry said, take a week off, internet free. Sometimes you can't in this world, Larry, but I'll be in Mexico. I'll be good. So thank you for that. But thanks for the donation, Larry. It's good. Larry's he's growing on me. It sucks. I hate saying that, Larry, but you are growing on me a little bit. I get a little bit happy every time I see you in the chat every day. We're gonna change him. I thought I could change Boebert. We're not getting Boebert, but maybe Larry's the new one. I can't remember what this is. Oh yeah. I just think a lot of people now, you know how sometimes somebody says something or does something and at the time it doesn't make sense. It's very confusing, but then later on with context, it makes sense. And knowing now the rumors about Donald Trump and Bubba, this makes a lot more sense to me. You know what I mean? It just, because at the time we were like, what? That doesn't seem like him, but now. Now it makes sense. So if that story it turns out to be true, I think we'll finally have an explanation for why the fuck he did that. You think? All right. I want to show this. Just further proof that the Republicans never care about sexual abusers. We covered this live, and I said it wasn't a story. But this is Donald Trump announcing his presidential fitness test in school. You have J.D. Vance, who's fitting his dick. I don't know who that is. That's Triple H. This is Bryson DeChambeau. I think that's Harrison Butker right there. And then you have RFK. And this is Lawrence Taylor, a registered sex offender. And Donald Trump put him on their presidential fitness committee to work with children. And I apparently didn't even tell Lawrence Taylor what he was there for, because here's Lawrence Taylor.
Don't start. I'm just proud to be on this team. And I don't know why. I don't know what we're supposed to be doing, but I'm here to serve, and I'm here to serve you.
Yeah, he just brought a sex offender, put him on a team, didn't even tell him what he was doing there. Namaste said, have a safe but fun trip. You'll be missed. Thank you. Appreciate that. Very safe. I feel very safe when I'm in Mexico.
Okay, so I'm going to do the best I can for as long as I can. Thank you very much.
All right. He's a registered sex offender. Put him on a children's committee. Cool. I guess Mike Tyson was busy. But speaking of protected sex offenders, trigger warning. This story has come out, and I was going to cover the story. Then I found this creator. Is this, I think, Billy Nelson, Mama B Energy 2. I thought her breakdown was better than anybody I'd seen. And so rather than me explain it, she's going to explain some newly unsealed documents about Matt Gaetz. And again, trigger warning. Again, Republicans won't give a god damn about this. Matt Gaetz will still have his show tomorrow. Matt Gaetz will lose no influence. No Republican will refuse to go on his show. Nothing bad will happen to Matt Gaetz. In fact, he'll probably gain viewership because he will deny all of this despite the fact that it's in these files.
You don't hate him enough. You don't hate him enough. What I'm about to read to you, I'm going to read in its entirety, and then I need you to tell me how any of you are okay with it. In Matt Gaetz scandal, circumstances left teen vulnerable to exploitation. A 17-year-old with a homeless parent wanted money for braces and ended up having sex for money with powerful men. She wants the public to have a fuller understanding of how she was victimized. She was 17 and a junior in high school in Florida. She was working at McDonald's and she was living in and out of a homeless shelter. Hoping to save up to buy braces to fix her teeth, she falsely advertised herself in 2017 as 18 years old on a website that matches men looking.
I said Mike Tyson was a sex offender. That's what I said about Mike Tyson.
For companionship with young women looking to make money. What followed would set off a chain of events that would have a dramatic impact on her life and help her upend the political career of one of the men she would encounter, Representative Matt Gaetz, the Florida Republican.
This isn't an article. This is, she's reading an article, and she's going to show you documents that were pulled. Look at the Republicans. Look how quickly they are rushing, sprinting to the defense of another sex offender. Look at this. If you're on YouTube, just look how upset they get when you point out they were sex offenders. They're so mad about this.
Okay. Mr. Gaetz was investigated by the Justice Department for child sex trafficking, but never charged. Following the election last year, he was President Trump's first choice to serve as Attorney General. He
B-Money, you know your mom's not dating Mike Tyson, you liar.
Subsequently resigned from Congress, then withdrew from consideration as Attorney General under the storm of scrutiny. A bipartisan Health Ethics Committee investigation later determined there was substantial evidence that he had sex with a 17-year-old, and the report included testimony from the girl about how she was paid by Mr. Gaetz for the sex. For all the public furor over Mr. Gaetz, who always asserted that he broke no laws, even as a House Ethics Committee found he violated Florida's statutory rape laws, the attention has been given to the story of a girl, how it came to be exploited, and how she coped with what happened to her ensuing political scandal. Last month, in response to a request from McClatchy newspaper chain, a federal judge in Florida unsealed court documents from a related civil case that shed some light on her background. The documents, including a description of the girl, said at the time she met Mr. Gates, she was then homeless 17-year-old.
What'd you say? I'm you trying to be transphobic? I love Madam Lightning. Kiss my ass. Kiss my fucking ass. Shout out W in the chat for Madam Lightning. Love Madam Lightning. You can kiss my ass, B-Money. We don't do the slander here for Madam Lightning. We love Madam Lightning here.
High schooler. In response to that disclosure, the New York Times reached out to the girl's lawyer, Laura B. Wolf, who agreed to confirm some basic biographical information about her client, providing details for the first time of how the girl's circumstances led to the encounters with Mr. Gates. Ms. Wolf said her client believed the public should have a fuller understanding of how she was fully victimized. Through the website, in April of her junior year in high school, she met Joel Greenberg, a local Florida tax collector who was...
Now, he's in jail. Remember, Joel Greenberg's in jail. Joel Greenberg said, yeah, Matt Gaetz was in on this too. And remember, Matt Gaetz was like, he just has Matt Gaetz derangement syndrome. Sure.
Becoming a friend and ally of Mr. Gates, according to the court document. Much of what followed has been documented in other inquiries and legal proceedings, including the Ethics Committee investigation.
Now, remember, Republicans found that this was true about Matt Gaetz. And Matt Gaetz ran from Congress and couldn't be the attorney general. Remember, Trump tried to put up another sexual abuser as attorney general, and then Republicans are like, we're not going to vote for him because we did an ethics investigation into him, and he's a sexual abuser, so no. And that's why he's doing a podcast now. Even the Republicans agree that this is true.
Greenberg first invited the 17-year-old to a meeting on his boat, according to court documents. At the meeting, they did not have sex, but Mr. Greenberg paid her $400, the document said. Around that time, Mr. Greenberg gave her ecstasy and told her to try it at home. Shortly thereafter, Mr. Greenberg contacted the girl again, and they ultimately met up at a hotel where she had sex, according to court documents. For that, she was paid another $400, and the court documents said. In the months that followed, Mr. Greenberg, using his personal credit card and for one of the local tax collecting offices he was in charge of, would have sex with her 7 times for money before she turned 18, the document said. Often during those encounters, he would give her ecstasy and would pay the girl and other women additional money for taking the drug during sex. On July 17, 2017, Mr. Greenberg asked the girl and others to attend a party at the home of Chris Dornworth, a former Republican member of the Florida State House of Representatives, who at the time worked as a lobbyist for the Ballard Partners, which is run by a major Trump fundraiser. Court documents describe the party as involving alcohol, cocaine, middle-aged men, and young, attractive females. Mr. Gates, then 35, attended the party along with his girlfriend. At the party, the girl who was 17 later testified both cocaine and ecstasy were offered to her. She took the ecstasy and drank, according to court papers. She testified that she danced naked in front of Mr. Dorworth and swam naked in his pool. The Ethics Committee heard her testimony say the girl twice had sex with Mr. Gates.
No, he didn't step down as AG. He was a nominee. After everybody knew everybody knew this. Everybody knew this about him. And then Republicans nominated him after all of this. It's not like he was the nominee and then this came out. They knew this beforehand and they nominated him anyways. And a handful of Republicans said, are you out of your fucking mind? Of course we're not going to vote for him. So he had to withdraw. But Donald Trump, your sex pest president, nominated Matt Gaetz, and he knew this.
That evening, in a court document, quotes her as having testified that she had sex with him on a pool table or air hockey table. She testified that Mr. Dorworth saw Mr. Gaetz have sex with her on the table and then laughed about it with other partygoers. Mr. Dorworth has claimed that he was not at the home at the time, an assertion undercut by the phone records that became part of litigation in the case. The girl later told congressional investigations that she saw Mr. Gaetz use cocaine that night. For having sex with him twice, the girl was paid $400, according to the testimony she gave the Ethics Committee. That fall, the girl moved to live with a family member in Texas, according to Ms. Wolf. She did not complete her senior year in high school.
I want you guys to take a look at Gary Barnes. Sins can't be forgiven? It's a crime. You dirty fucking bitch. It's a crime against a child. You goddamn psychopath. What the fuck is wrong with you Republicans? What the fuck is wrong with the right? Honest to God, what the fuck happened to you people? Teen Trunks, I don't think you know that not everyone was fine with what he did. Trump was fine with what he did. It was Republicans who had to vote for him in a confirmation hearing. Some of them weren't cool with it. All the Democrats said no, and some Republicans said no. Most Republicans said, sexual abuse isn't much of a deal breaker. Same thing that you sick fucks are saying. Yeah, Gary, look, maybe we just have different morals, Gary. If you abuse a child, I don't vote for you. If you abuse a child, I don't think you should have a leadership position in this country. Apparently not a deal breaker for you, but that makes sense. You voted for Trump. Trump is sexually abused, incredibly accused of sexually abusing at least 30 women and some children. So, I mean, I don't know why we're surprised that there's people in the chat here that are like, I don't know. Is it really that bad? God damn. I wish that prediction wasn't right when we said that we're going to start getting Republicans every day in here that are defending statutory rape, but here we are every day. We got people defending statutory rape.
She continued to work minimum wage in the food service industry. Ultimately, between the money she made from her interaction with men in the food service industry, she was able to save up enough money to get braces. Several years later, Mr. Greenberg came under investigation for trying to undermine the political opponent in an upcoming election by mailing fake letters to the school.
I just want to point out, you guys wanted to remove Joe Biden from office because you said that his son might have brought cocaine into the White House, and you wanted to remove him from office for that. Just to be clear, that was like the big fucking scandal. It was led Fox News every day for like a month. They still talk about the cocaine in the White House.
School where the opponent worked as a teacher, claiming the opponent had sexual relations with a student. You don't fucking hate them enough. A 17-year-old in a homeless shelter wanted braces because she was working a minimum wage job trying to go to high school and survive. And these fucks did that. You don't hate them a fucking enough. I need to know MAGA's excuse at this point. What?
There's no excuse. They just don't care. A lot of them probably do this. It's probably not that uncommon. I think that we've probably undersold how much sexual abuse there is in that party. I think that we are not aware of just how bad it's been. What is this, Jen? Jen said, bring me back some of that cheap healthcare. I loved that gif. I can't show it, but Shar Sexy said, here's 183 pesos. Safe travels. Glad you get a little bit of a break. Is that what the exchange rate is right now? Is it 18 to 1? I think that's about what it was last time I was there too. Amy Lynn, oh shit, I've missed a lot. FOD said it's not like they were 5 very gross people. Amy Lynn said, as a survivor, difference between 5 and 15 is 10 years. They're both children. Age doesn't matter. Ty said, yeah, that's the only part of your sentence that MAGA is going to take. Oh, she said age doesn't matter. See, she's just like us. I don't know how I missed that one earlier. I got that one. Namaste said, have a safe but fun trip. Thank you. I got that one. Chardonnay said, happy Friendly Friday. Fuck all these sickos mentioned today. We're almost to Friendly Friday. Let me get through a couple more, and then we'll do a quick Friendly Friday. Yeah, let's just do this. Because I know that today we've talked about how none of these emails so far talk about Donald Trump and accuse him of a crime. But it's important to remember that that doesn't mean he hasn't been accused of crimes. First, I want to show this video. This is from Jesus Freaking Congress. I couldn't find, she has a YouTube channel, and somebody screenshot this from her YouTube channel, and I'm probably just too dumb to get it, but please go to her YouTube channel and subscribe and like the video. I just couldn't find it, so I'm using this copy from Twitter, but go to her YouTube channel. It's Jesus Freaking Congress. But just a reminder of who Donald Trump is.
What do you mean? Trump started his sketchy modeling agency where he would bring underage models into the U.S. to work illegally on travel visas right after he became BFFs with Diddy, and no one is reporting on it. Let's start with a little history as to why this timing is especially sketchy. It is the 90s and Trump is in debt and everyone knows it. But then creditors start valuing his brand out of nowhere and his finances start improving. But what was Trump doing during this time? If you guessed that he struck a business deal hosting and sponsoring parties with teenage girls who were as young as 14 and the average age being 15 for rich old men, you would be right. He hosted Look of the Year on large private yachts and in his Plaza Hotel, where teenage girls danced around in dresses and miniskirts for rich old men for their chance to win a contract with the world's
Thanks, Mitchell.
then leading modeling agency Elite Model Management, run by John Casablancas. And you might be thinking, how would this boost his brand alone? Well, the parties were used as a way for the rich old men to engage in schmexual relationships with the contestants. And Casablancas wasn't the only one Trump was hosting and sponsoring parties for. Trump asked American Dream Calendar Girls beauty contest owner to organize a party with his pageant finalists, saying he would invite modeling agencies and prospective sponsors. But the only other guest who was invited was Jeffrey Epstein. And then what starts to happen? Rappers start dropping Trump's name about how he was the personification of wealth and luxury, which significantly helped boost his brand.
Larry, I don't think I could be surprised by Hillary. I do not think Hillary Clinton is a good person. If she is in this, I'm not going to be shocked at all.
Even though his finances said otherwise, and so did the newspapers, Trump knew that no one would care about your finances if you provided rich and powerful men with young, impressionable teen models at lavish parties. And then he really started getting his name dropped in raps around 1998. And what happened that year? He became good friends with Diddy and started going to all of his parties. And then the next year, he started
at this event. This was at the U.S. Open, by the way. This is one of the places that Donald, who was there with his wife, was accused of sexual assault. She mentions that they're at this event, and in the box, Donald Trump did the thing that he does to all women, where he just corners them, starts groping them, and shoves his tongue down their throats. So there's an accusation tied to this exact picture.
Surprise, surprise, a modeling agency, where Diddy's favorite party guest, Leonardo DiCaprio, gushed to the Donald saying, wow, one-stop date shopping. What a concept. And Trump would not only fly in underage aspiring models, have them come into the US on a tourist visa and work illegally, which is hilarious since he talks so much about illegal immigrants being the downfall of America. He also would get his top models H-1B visas, which he constantly campaigns to get rid of. But he would have models go to every event of his as props and arm candy, and while doing this, he charged them outrageous amounts to live in horrible apartments while paying them nothing. And they couldn't work for anyone else because they signed a contract stating that wasn't allowed. And you might be thinking, how was this never investigated? Senator Barbara Boxer called to federal authorities to investigate Trump model management for alleged labor and immigration violations, but then Trump won the presidency and Trump model management closed in 2017. And if you didn't think all of that was bad enough, a little under a year ago, one of Trump's models, who was of course an immigrant from Spain, filed a lawsuit against fashion photographer Terry Richardson and Trump model management. She was recruited by the Trump agency in 2004. The agency sent her to be interviewed by Mr. Richardson, where he wore only a robe to the meeting. She reported the encounter to the Trump agency, but they said it was commonplace behavior and should be overlooked, and then booked her a photo shoot. At the photo shoot, she was drugged by a beverage where she felt dizzy and disoriented, and Mr. Richardson essayed her. While
Samantha, I appreciate what you're saying. I'm sorry for you, but please understand that not all victims are the same. Please understand that. I don't think right now, when we're talking about abusers, I don't think the right thing to do is to talk about the mistakes that these young girls might have made. They're young girls. Yeah. They could. I'm sure if they could go back and do things differently, they would too. But let's not take time today to talk about the victims when we're talking about the abuser. I think that's kind of sick. And as somebody like yourself, if you're a victim, I would hope that when you're sharing your story, people didn't try and make it seem like you were actually the problem.
his assistant took pictures. Doesn't that sound familiar?
Somebody get rid of Gary. I'm tired of Gary.
Trump agency ignored her concerns again and sent her to another photo shoot with him, where he did the exact same thing. And then he used the photos in an exhibit. And as someone who has worked with booking models, the agency knew what he was doing. They approved that photo shoot. And side note, after closing his modeling agency while he was president, Trump trademarked Trump Escorts in China. So let's be so for real right now. If you are outraged about everything that Diddy did and everything that Epstein did, but not what Trump did, they are all connected. They are all doing the same things across many industries and working with each other to do them and getting away with it because...
No, but he's America first. He's America first. How come he's tied to all of these people? And I'm going to end on this, then we'll go to, this is a 6-minute video. and I'm going to be quiet through the whole 6 minutes. You guys can start jumping in for Friendly Friday. But on the end of this, just because I had to play a bunch of Fox News clips and a bunch of right-wing creators saying that Donald Trump hasn't been accused of anything and this is all a hoax, here now is 6 minutes of women accusing Donald Trump of sexually abusing them. Trigger warning.
Going off. In 2005, I went to interview Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. At one point, Melania went upstairs to change her clothes for the next photo shoot. And Trump said to me, I want to show you this beautiful painting, this beautiful room. He leads me to this room, pushes me against the wall, and starts kissing me forcefully. I tried to push him. He kept coming back at me. I was in shock and smothered, and he had his hands here against my shoulders. I felt sick inside. I felt horrified. And thank goodness the butler charges into the room. Like many women, I blamed myself. So Trump turned to me and said, you know we're going to an affair, don't you? And Melania was approaching. I was horrified. When the Access Hollywood tape came out, and also stories of many other women, including E. Jean Carroll, I realized I was not to blame, that he was just a predator of women.
Danielle, sorry, the last interruption here. I haven't seen them. Guys, I'll get to any super chats that come in. I'll get at the end of this video. I said I wouldn't interrupt, and I'll hold to that. But if you send them, just know I'm not going to read them till after.
What could have happened if the butler had not come into the room? Donald Trump is an adjudicated sexual assaulter. We cannot elect this man as president.
Anti-Psychopath PAC Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
1979, I had gotten on an airplane. The stewardess said to me, would you like to come up to first class? In the window seat was a gentleman, said that his name was Donald
Thanks
Trump.
for the sub.
The airplane took off, and all of a sudden, Donald Trump started groping me. He was trying to kiss me, and I'm trying to push him away.
Sorry, I can't turn the volume up. It looks like this is as loud as it goes. I've got it all the way up on my end. Sorry.
He was basically overpowering me. When he started putting his hand up my skirt, I got out of the seat, grabbed my purse, and went back to my original seat. And I certainly was shook up by the whole thing. 2 years later, at this fundraiser, up comes Trump and his wife. And he looked at me and he said, I remember you. You're that from the airplane. Donald Trump views women as for his entertainment. He is a serial predator. He has said it point blank, and he's done it, and he will continue to.
And during this interview, Luther Campbell, aka Uncle Luke, talks about how in the early 1990s he was at Donald Trump's house in Palm Beach, and he left this party when he saw people there who he thought were underage girls. He described the scene as looking like it was from Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise and Nicole Campbell. He said he saw drug use and he had to just get out.
If the man took us around the house, he said, I got these women from the pageant. They're going to be there. So we went, up in Palm Beach. They had some cars.
And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Just came strolling right in. There was no second to put a robe on or any sort of clothing or anything. Some girls were topless, other girls were naked. I'm telling you, Donald Trump owned the pageant for the reason to utilize his power to get, around beautiful women.
I moved in her, actually. She was down on Palm Beach. I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that everything's good. Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
And he shook my hand, and he kind of gave me the normal double cheek kiss. But then he held onto my hand and he kept kissing me. He kept asking me maybe a question, where are you from? And kissing me again. And then he kissed me on the lips. All of a sudden.
So I get there and I'm all sweaty in running shorts. Donald Trump walks in, stood, hovering and smirking. Like a Cheshire grin.
The president and the pedophile.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
The association that's haunting Trump.
Epstein said he was his best friend.
Is the president lying?
Oh my heavens, yes. Yes, he's lying.
On 60 Minutes.
When he died in a jail where no one has ever committed suicide before, that really is the moment that the mystery surrounding Epstein really explodes.
What's really in the Epstein files?
We need to release the Epstein list.
Why haven't they been released?
I call it the Epstein hoax.
And why have the Donald's most loyal supporters...
You're telling me there's no list?
...turned against him?
We're going to burn them. I got the match, sir.
Trump really seems to be hiding something.
My mailbox was destroyed. My animals have been injured. My daughter can't go outside. There's press and looky-loos out there. I'm afraid to go outside. I'm afraid to go out and mow the lawn. I can't go anywhere. I'm afraid of being followed.
Yeah.
The death threats are so much more graphic and detailed and brazen. Like, people don't care. And it's scary, and leading up to the trial was hard enough, like flying up here repeatedly and sitting in the rooms and going through things and reliving all these terrifying moments. The only thing that kept me going, I guess, was thinking that there was an end in sight.
Yeah.
Have you been living in the neighborhood for a long time?
Yeah.
And did you ever see any really rich and powerful people go inside this building?
You want to know who I saw going in there? Everyone you've heard about.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you name any names?
Yeah, you know them all from the newspaper.
Do you see Bill Clinton going there?
Who?
Bill Clinton?
Yep.
Bill Gates?
No.
Trump?
Yep. I think of the other ones. Andrew.
Prince Andrew. You saw Prince Andrew going there. And what do you think actually happened inside of this home?
All the most terrible things you could think of both.
And what do you think the truth is about the Epstein files?
Well, someone has them. Yeah. Maxwell probably would be the best source. But she'll stay put.
Would you support Donald Trump if he were to give her a pardon to let her spill all the information?
No. Because, she's out of jail. She was definitely his partner. I believe that.
And so you've seen people like Prince Andrew, Trump, the Clintons, a lot of other people walk inside this building.
Yeah, well, you knew it. They all come with security guards who park here or stand out here, so you can't miss it. And I saw plenty over the years. This is a long time ago now, before we knew what was going on. There's young girls. Young.
How old
Teenagers.
were the girls that you saw go in?
Well, because they were coming from schools. They were coming from public schools.
Really?
So they were high school age.
Wow, so you saw a bunch of high schoolers going inside here.
You could tell. I always come this way home, and you'd cross the street, and maybe on the far corner it'd be two girls.
So somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one.
If we played those in their entirety, it would be like 4 hours worth. I appreciate MAGA. Thanks for being here and showing us just how sick that you are. It's great. It's not shocking to watch the levels that you all will stoop to defend a man that you know nothing about. None of you know him. You have no idea. Every person I've ever known, I mentioned, a school teacher, a friend of mine. He was a little bit younger than me, but I knew his dad really well. His brother wound up going to prison for abusing children, and I had grown up much younger than him, but seeing him, and he was somebody that everybody kind of like revered as this good guy. When I was on a Mormon mission while I was gone, a friend of mine was coaching soccer and wound up abusing some of the girls on his soccer team. And like, you don't know, it can be the people that you know in your life who do these things. To defend somebody blindly when you don't know them is a silly thing to do, especially when you have this many accusations. Go ahead, just tell me the innocent person that has 30 plus accusations, and those accusations come out independently. And then when they're compiled, everybody's accusation is like pretty similar as far as like what he did. But the accusations were long before this was like publicly available. So you go through and you read these reports of women and stories of women who accuse Donald Trump of doing stuff. And then once he runs for president, it becomes public, and you notice that they're all the same. Yeah, for sure. That they just all preemptively had Trump derangement syndrome. Just 30 years ago, they accused him of something in the same way that somebody accused him 10 years later of, and they didn't know each other and they didn't coordinate it, but it's all because they had Trump derangement syndrome. You guys don't know him. It is disgusting, absolutely disgusting to watch you come in here and just shame women. For what reason? Like I've got to just guess you're part of those groypers that you just fucking hate women. And I don't know what it is. I think you guys should just start fucking each other. I think that might be what it is. Maybe you hate women because you love men, but you're also like homophobic, so it fucks you up. I don't know. I for the life of me, I can't figure out what would compel a person to defend Donald Trump against all of these accusations. When again, you don't know him, you didn't know him before. These accusations predated any of his attempts to run for office, and it's just gross. Heard a rumor about a celebrity grooming or abusing and immediately no. I hear a rumor about a celebrity grooming or abusing and immediately no. Yeah. I mean, just thinking about these women, like when they say like women lie, what have any of these women got? Their lives have been destroyed. Most of them didn't sue him. Even with like Stormy Daniels, that wasn't for assault. She just blackmailed him. It wasn't even like, she didn't even accuse him of assault. She was like, hey, we had a deal. You were going to help me out. You didn't. You were going to get me on the Celebrity Apprentice. You didn't. You were going to get me all these gigs. You didn't. So that was the only reason I slept with you in the first place. You didn't come through on it. You never paid me. Now you're running for president. So I'm going to use this opportunity to get some money out of you. You can criticize Stormy Daniels for that. That's fair. She had a consensual relationship and then she held it over Trump's head to get money. That's a fair accusation of Stormy Daniels. But these women who were abused, they didn't get anything. They just have a bunch of like pieces of shit like you calling them liars. They're not making money. The fame that they get isn't the kind of fame that you want. Anytime you criticize Trump, it comes with death threats. Look at my DMs. Like I get threatened every day on Twitter just for talking about Donald Trump. Yeah, I'm saying they're women now. A lot of them weren't young girls, actually. Most of the accusations against Trump were women. As far as I know, it's just Katie Johnson. Are there any other young girls that accuse? As far as I know, it's only Katie Johnson. I could be wrong, but most of them were grown women, reporters. Yeah, but see, there it is. Time is almost up. There it is. It's the threats every day. And you guys are full of shit. You're not going to do anything. You're all just a bunch of dumb fucking groypers. None of you are going to do shit. We don't take it seriously. But like, this is what happens when you just criticize a sex pest like Donald Trump. Our country's being exposed is like way more fucked up than we thought they were. So let's jump on. It's a weird segue to get into Friendly Friday, but we're going to do it anyways. If you guys want to join, you can start jumping in the Discord now. MAGA, you can get the fuck out because we're all just going to talk to each other and you're going to hate it anyways. So we can do that now. We'll jump in there. I've got 25 minutes and then I got to go. I go pick up my daughter. Danielle said I sent a 2-minute vid that goes over the emails. All right. If it's only 2 minutes, we'll play it real fast while people are jumping in. Thanks, Danielle. I got it here.
Here are all the leaks.
Oh, this is from one of the Krasensteins.
Emails that Epstein wrote about Trump. Epstein emailed Larry Summers saying that he has met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump, not a decent bone in his body. Epstein emailed Landon Thomas saying that Trump feels alone and is nuts, evil, beyond belief, mad. Epstein told Ghislaine Maxwell that a victim spent hours at Epstein's house with Donald Trump. Epstein asked Landon Thomas if he'd like to see photos of Donald Trump and girls in bikinis in his kitchen. Epstein told Landon Thomas that Trump once walked into his sliding door because he is staring at young women in his swimming pool. Epstein told Kathy Rumler, I know how dirty Donald is. Epstein emailed Faith Cates suggesting that he spent time around Thanksgiving with Trump during his presidency. Epstein emailed Steve Bannon saying that Prince Andrew's accuser came out of Mar-a-Lago. Epstein told Norway's prime minister that Putin could get information about Trump from him. Michael Wolff emailed Epstein suggesting that he used the fact that Trump flew on his plane and went to his house as leverage. Epstein texted that he's the only one who could take Trump down. Epstein told Michael Wolff that Trump knew that a victim worked at Mar-a-Lago and that Trump had come to his home many times. Epstein told Thomas Landon that he gave his 20-year-old girlfriend to Donald.
All right, here we go. Thank you. Pop out of there. Let me jump in the VC. I'm here. All right, I'm here. Jen, who's first? LLM, I'm going to go through the files. I just haven't had time to do it, man. I'm going to go through it this week.
Kim.
You said Kim?
Cam.
Cam. Oh, what's up, Cam?
Hi, Jay.
Whatever.
How are you doing this week?
Shut up.
Sorry, I'm just happy. I've had a pretty good week starting Sunday. Anyways, I had a couple of things that you brought up the microphone thing earlier.
Yeah.
There's also more. Remember the Arnold Palmer story?
Yeah. Boy, do I ever. Yeah.
That's making more sense now.
Yeah.
And also, I saw somebody on Reddit bring up one of his old tweets from the first election, where he's talking about was it, if Hillary can't satisfy Bill, what do you think she'll satisfy America?
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, that was one of his tweets from at the time. Yeah, so now we know why he wanted her locked up.
I didn't know that. I haven't seen that.
And he even paid tribute to him this year. If you look close enough, the big beautiful Bill.
That's right. Maybe Bill was their secret. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's dude. It's a weird. It's like a penis shaped tinfoil hat now. So
it's mushroom. It's got a mushroom cap on the top.
Yeah. Anyways,
good. Well done, Cam. Yeah, good call, Cam. That was a good one. Fuck the Rams.
Yeah. I'm scared that I'm a little worried this week because we got the two top teams are going at it, and I'm just like, hopefully Sam Darnold turns into that pumpkin we know he is, but we'll see.
Yeah. I hope everything goes poorly for you.
Well, that would mean it goes well for the Seahawks. So
I'm all right with that. I'm more upset with you.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, right. I can appreciate that. Hey, we do have that video. I can DM to you if you want to play it of you dancing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, DM that to me. I'll make sure to play it.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye. All right, who's next?
Positive impact.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. So, we had said I told you that I thought Schumer was behind the 8 Democrats, and you wanted me to tell you why I thought that on Friendly Friday. So here I am.
I'm ready.
Well, I think that why I say he's behind it is that they were all. It just looked too orchestrated. That they were all people that weren't up for re-election, and he is as bought into big business and other special interests that I think there was pressure on him to end the shutdown, and so he tried to figure out a way to do it that would save his face, so he could say, oh, I'm not going to vote for it, but all these other people did. So I just think he's behind it. I think he orchestrated the whole thing.
Where do you think the pressure was coming from? Like people with government contracts? That's what I was trying to figure out. Like where would his donor pressure be coming from, or where would he be feeling that heat from?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know, but to me, he does politics like that was effective 25 years ago, and he doesn't understand how, what he's up against, and he just goes to, these he thinks he can negotiate with them and get what he wants on the back end. So like we'll end this shutdown and then we'll be able to negotiate what we want. And he doesn't realize that he's like that doesn't work with this, that they're not, they lie, they don't, they're not honest. And so
a lot of people are saying airlines, that would make sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Airlines would make
airlines make sense.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Look, I think I think it's entirely possible and maybe even likely. It's hard to poke holes in that. I think you might be right.
Well, and I also think that there's so many people now coming out and saying that they, want to replace him in the Democratic Party. And so I just think that they knew that he orchestrated that and they're like, okay, we're done with him.
That's a good point too. Yeah, that is a good point. It is interesting that like he didn't vote and he gave that speech, but everybody's still blaming him in the Democratic Party. That does make sense. Yeah, I think you're probably right. However we can get rid of him is fine by me. I don't care how we do it. He's just got to go.
Me too. I just can't stand him. So
yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
Well, yeah. Have a great week.
You too. We'll see it.
And have fun on your trip. Have a great time.
I'll do that. Lots of ganja will be good.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Awesome.
See
you later.
Bye.
All right, Dolphin.
Hey.
All right. Look, I sent something to Jen because but I don't think she can read my writing. Heck, I can't even read my writing half of the time. Okay, where that Megyn Kelly woman, Lord, where I think that she actually got what she said from is something that I found on Untrue Social about April or May, could be March, in regards to this. You mind if I read it?
Sure.
I can't remember who wrote it, but I wrote the damn thing down.
Okay.
So it says, okay, in Trump's defense, fucking 14-year-old girls was really only made taboo, a social taboo in the 90s. My grandma was born in 1927 and had her first child when she was 12. Teenage pregnancy only became frowned upon with the rise of, and I shortened it. I said JS, but I don't remember what that is. And I also can be honest about the fact that I was old enough to choose, seduce, and decide to fuck a grown ass man when I was 15. I really don't get why women are fronting like they weren't fucking 40-year-olds at 15. Like, come on now. I'm honestly not surprised or mad at Trump for getting some 15-year-old kitty, because those were the
Jesus.
times. Good night, USA, for fucking ever. Now, if he was fucking a 10-year-old, we would have a problem. But if the girls were 13 plus, who cares?
Okay, this is Azalea Banks. I just found it. This is a tweet from Azalea Banks. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was how long ago was it?
I don't know how if there's much more for it, but let's try to like tone it down
yeah.
to viewers talk. So.
This was in July of this year.
Oh.
That sound
okay,
about right?
So I was a little off on the month. Sorry.
Jesus.
But yeah. So just to let you know that that's disgusting shit was back then too.
Whoa. All right. How did I miss that one?
I don't know, but I found it.
Oh, okay. Well,
all right. Have a wonderful.
Just walk off with that cat.
See ya. I'm sorry.
That's
Fuck
all right.
y'all. I gotta go.
I hear it. See ya.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
On that note, all right. Fervent.
You said who?
Hello.
Fervent.
Oh, hey. Hey, what's up?
Hey, not much. Yeah, I think I was brainstorming ways that Trump and team could deal with this PR disaster that is Bubbagate.
Okay.
A few ideas that might help Miss Levitt or anybody interested.
Okay.
Curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
One, Trump was doing Oppo research. Yeah. Two, he was practicing his negotiation. Fuck, I just fucking forgot the third. Oh yeah, he was draining the swamp. All right, I'll see myself out.
All right, who's next? Unbelievable.
Mama.
Hey.
Dude, why do I always gotta follow like the worst?
That's good. I don't know. Would you rather follow the Azalea Banks tweet or that? Both of those were tough. Yeah.
Yep. Thanks for the sort of palate cleanser. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, I went to Mesa yesterday and I realized
welcome.
that like, holy fuck. First of all, it's really far away from where but anyways.
Where are you at?
So I
unless you don't want to say.
West Valley out
West Valley.
there. Yeah,
Okay.
West Valley. Yeah. Way out there.
Okay.
Where they're still building. So
okay.
Anyways, so I went to a Deseret book, or I saw that there was a Deseret book, and I was like, where are the 5 church buildings within eyesight? And I was like, yep, I'm in Mesa.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Mormon churches as far as the eye can see.
Everywhere. And then I've been catching up on some of the videos or whatever that I've been missing the last like few weeks or whatever. And I'm on the episode where you're talking about like the spider web that is like stocks and 401ks and all of that. How the hell do you even find out what your stuff is invested in? And like, is there another option, like a quote unquote stable option? I know you're not like.
Are you talking about the one from yesterday from
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All the tech.
Yeah, so if you have a 401k, you should have some sort of login or financial advisor. They can show you what the investments are in. There's usually a breakdown. I've actually never had a 401k, so I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I'm fairly certain somebody else might be a better source on this. But I think you can just contact whoever manages that portfolio, and they'll give you the list of stocks that you're invested in.
Okay. Yeah, I prefer to not lose my shirt again in a stock market crash. So,
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
most financial advisors are going to tell you, and it's good advice, don't try and time the market. And I think that that's the hard part here, is that if you try and time this market, it's so artificially held up, and it should have crashed in 2020, and it hasn't. So they've been able to extend this out to 2025. You may wind up struggling anyways, and if you time it, you might lose a bunch of those gains. So, I mean, I think that most financial advisors, what they say is that if losing the money that you have in your market will destroy you, maybe take it out. If it won't, then you'll probably wind up doing better riding out the crash. Because then once it crashes, those same financial advisors are going to buy going back up, and so those stocks generally will return to where they are, and then your new investments will rise at a quicker rate. So that's what they usually say, but I'm not a financial advisor. I would talk to your whoever's managing your 401k.
Cool. Well, thanks. You're just you dug way deeper than I ever thought to. So
yeah, that lady is awesome.
Have a great birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Enjoy your trip.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Big 40.
All right.
40 this year.
Ooh,
I know.
I'm a few years ahead of you, but man, that was a rough one. So
thank you.
All right.
Appreciate that.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
John.
Hey, John.
Yo, dude.
Yeah.
Happy Friday.
Thanks, buddy.
I just was calling to wish you a happy early birthday. And I know this has been brought up before, but I think we need to have an RTP gathering somewhere where everybody can join. I think that'd be a blast. And I'd be willing to help plan it.
Okay. Hey, I'm open to it. I don't want to travel. If people want to plan something in Arizona, I'm open to it. I've met with some years ago. There were some people that put something together, and it wound up being like really close to my house. So I'm happy to do that. I'm just not a very good planner, and
well, and then that's it. I think we're gonna have to meet in Phoenix then, which is fine by me.
All right. It's a nice time.
So anyway, you have a great weekend.
Thanks, buddy. We'll see you.
All right. Bye.
It's a good time to be in Phoenix. It's gonna be like 80 degrees today, so it's not bad.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, it is. What's up, Marley?
Really much of anything. I've been very busy, but I catch your show most days. And I'm gonna have to go into withdrawal next week, but I do hope you have a wonderful week.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll try and jump on TikTok at some point. I'll probably make a video every day. I wake up pretty early when I'm out there and take long walks, so maybe I'll make some walking videos. I'll learn how to do that.
Maybe something that's just what's fun in Mexico instead of political.
I could do that. It's mostly the ganja. I guess I probably have to be careful. It's not really legal there, so I'll be careful.
I didn't really have much to say, but just wanted to wish you well, and I hope Jen does wonderful things while you're gone.
She's going to be thrilled to not have to deal with me for a week, I think. She can sleep in. It'll be nice.
I don't get to sleep in. I got Spawn in the morning, so
that's
but
right.
anyway.
All right. Thanks, Marlene. Have a great
bye-bye.
See ya. Is that it, Jen?
Hold on.
What just happened?
Okay.
Did you move? Did you drag me somewhere else? Is that what happened?
Yeah, so that it's over.
Oh, okay. Was that everybody?
Yep.
All right. Any last words from you?
I think that's it. No, that's it.
All right. Let me make sure I got the super chats. Bamarola said, I'll miss you next week. Have a great birthday. Pretty sure I got that. I got Danielle's. Walter said happy Friday. So did Susan. I don't know if I got those ones or not. Betsy said have a great trip. And
did you see the Jen's Venmo she sent?
The what?
If you scroll up in our chat, she sent a Venmo that was animated.
Yeah, I did. I read that one earlier and I saw that. That was the one with the eyebrows on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one. Let me make sure I didn't miss any others on yours.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. All right, guys. We'll be back a week from now. It's going to be weird. Great timing, right as the Epstein files break. But I will read through all the files, so we'll probably have something on that when we get back. I fully expect the next week to be. Sounds like Trump's going to try and delay this again by using the Department of Justice to open a new investigation, so that they can then say, "Oh, that's an open investigation. We can't release any of this shit." They'll just keep stretching it out. But the good news is while he's doing that, he's also fucking up the country. So that'll make things better. There's a real chance also, I just want to throw this out there, there is a chance that the trip cancels. There's been a lot of flight cancellations out of Phoenix. Now that the government's open, I'm not quite as worried, but we should be okay. And if that does happen, I will be here, and I will be a whiny little bitch all week. You won't like me. But until I see you guys next time, whenever that happens to be, thank you guys so much for the support. Thanks for all the birthday wishes. Means the world to me to have you guys all here. It looks like somebody, Jen, did somebody do a bunch of gifted subs?
I just saw that. Yeah, oh wait, I don't know some gifted subs, but Amy Lynn, who's regular, I'm going to drag you back over just for 1 second.
Oh, okay. Did somebody gift subs? I just saw a bunch come in the chat. If there was gifted subs, will you let me know?
Okay.
Hey, Amy.
You're muted. Amy.
Amy's got my tech skills. There we go.
I need to turn off the. Do I need to turn off the YouTube?
It's just going to be on a delay.
Yeah.
Okay, just close it out.
Oh. I just wanted to say happy birthday and have a great trip. I never come up because I'm a chicken shit.
I didn't know this was you. I didn't know this was your Discord. I didn't know that was who you were. I appreciate you coming up.
Yeah.
Now I know. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you don't usually hop in, so I figured.
Thank you.
So
I grew some balls for just a moment.
awesome. Make sure you wash behind them. So
I will. We don't want stinky cheese behind the balls.
There you go. Thank you. It can get rough.
See you later.
See ya. PM42 says for the Hana fun. Thank you. Appreciate that. Jen, I think that's it from you, right?
That's it.
All right, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your mental health. Drink some water. Say something nice about yourself. Stay cute and cool. And have the greatest summer you ever had.